Thank you, Mark. Just about to get underway under glorious, sharp blue skies at the Amex Stadium. Sparkling sunshine here on the South Coast. A really good game in prospect. Brighton against Tottenham. Tottenham are going to kick us off. The players have just taken the knee as they continue to send out the message there is no room for racism, no room for discrimination anywhere in society. And our second Premier League commentary of the day is underway on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Brighton against Tottenham is 6th against 3rd in the Premier League. Tottenham sitting in 3rd. Brighton have been passed this afternoon by Chelsea and Newcastle, who both enjoyed home wins. But if Brighton can win this game, they will go back above them into the top 4, and they will be level on points with Tottenham. You just join us after the a really moving, I have to say, minutes applause to remember the life of Gian Piero Ventroni, the Tottenham fitness coach, who very sadly passed away earlier this week. Tony Pulis, you're sitting alongside me here. I'm just going to let this Tottenham move play out, and then I'll get first thoughts from you. Ryan Sessegnon is chasing a ball down the left-hand side. He's not going to get to it, and it goes behind for a goal kick. And we're standing very close to him, and you know him, Antonio Conte, the Tottenham manager, one of those very close to Gian Piero Ventroni, in tears. Tony,
yeah, it's very emotional. No, I think obviously for Antonio, his staff, the supporters and everybody at Tottenham, but his family as well. We've got to remember his family, and being 61, it's a young age today, and to lose such a fit, healthy man as well is pretty devastating.
Yeah,
really.
Our thoughts, our well wishes, our love go out to Gian Piero Ventroni's family and friends. And I tell you what, I mean, you saw the outpouring of love from the Tottenham players on social media this week. He was a fitness coach who they called, I think, Professore. If you can make yourself that loved as a fitness coach when you're running the players into the ground, you've got to be a pretty nice fella.
Well, everywhere he went, he was pretty famous or synonymous in respect of working players hard and getting them fit. But he must have been a lovely fella then to keep them on his side as well.
Absolutely. Sessegnon's ball into the edge of the penalty area, and Harry Kane is fouled by Alexis McAllister, 22 yards from goal. Early shooting chance for Tottenham. Hojbjerg comes running forward and thinks about taking a quick one, decides against it.
Yeah, I think this will be left for Kane. It looked pretty soft to me. Yeah, Kane's just stopped and let the lad run into him.
Well described, Tony. Yes.
Yeah.
Harry Kane controlled the ball. Alexis McAllister couldn't stop, didn't hit him with much force, and down he went, and our referee Tony Harrington immediately blew the whistle and said free kick. I have to say, I've not seen this Tottenham kit yet this season, and they may have worn it in a game I've not seen. It's quite something. It's sort of Fiorentina style, sort of violet shirts. The main body of the shirt is violet, black sleeves with a bright yellow high-vis collar, bright yellow numbers on the back, black shorts with bright yellow trim, and bright yellow socks with black tops. It's stunning.
It's different.
It's 0-0. 5 Live at the Amex. Brighton 0, Tottenham 0. Son Heung-min is going to take the free kick. Jeers and whistles from the Brighton fans. Whips it over the wall with his right foot. Sanchez saw that a mile off, throws himself to his right and palms it away strongly, and out it goes for a Tottenham throw on the left-hand side.
Yeah, he's at the target. It's a simple save. The keeper really could catch it, I think. But they don't anymore. They play really safe and make sure that they push the ball away from the goal.
Ben Davies plays the ball back into his own half for Tottenham. So he is back in the Tottenham side this afternoon. I'll remind you of the two starting lineups in just a second. But Tottenham drew 0-0 away to Frankfurt in the Champions League on Tuesday night. The games are coming thick and fast. Lost last weekend in the North London derby. So Antonio Conte will want a response from his players. Made 4 changes to the starting lineup. Brighton here, of course, after the 3-3 draw at Anfield last weekend. Dyer back on the ball for Tottenham. Plays it to his right-hand side. Romero up the channel here to Bentancur. Sliding challenge in on Matt Doherty. Now, if you've not heard that name in the coverage yet this afternoon, yes, indeed, Matt Doherty does get a first start of the season after Antonio Conte was fairly dismissive of him in his pre-match press conference ahead of the Frankfurt game in midweek. Tottenham have worked the ball forward. They're inside the Brighton half. Son's just dropped into that little pocket of space off Harry Kane, plays it back to Romero, out wide to Doherty, and Doherty strokes his pass back into midfield. Former Brighton man Yves Bissouma getting only a second Premier League start of the season for Tottenham as well against his former club this afternoon. Tottenham's passing looks slick and sharp at the moment. Sessegnon just comes trotting towards the corner of the Brighton box. Hojbjerg out wide to Ben Davies. Davies strokes a pass to Kane. First time ball back to Hojbjerg. Brighton are quite happy to hold their shape, and Højbjerg on the halfway line, I think, is going to come across to Eric Dyer.
Yes, both teams are playing similar shapes really, with 5 at the back.
Dyer's gone with a longer ball over the top. Dunk heads it away. Tony.
So the two wing backs, when Tottenham win it, the two wing backs push right on the back of Brighton's wing back, so they'll try and push them back and leave the space there. And if they do that, then it's important that Son and Kane do come into little pockets and receive balls away from their centre halves, to make it difficult for centre halves, to make decisions whether to go in or whether not to go in and mark them.
Great bit of ball winning from Rodrigo Bentancur, the Uruguayan, for Tottenham, high up the field, but Brighton were able to deal with the danger. The ball is volleyed forward and it ends up at the feet of Hugo Lloris. Tony sounding a little croaky this afternoon. That's not because he's been whooping and hollering on the golf course. Result to come shortly. It's because you've had the grandkids for a week, isn't it, Tony?
Yeah, my daughter did magnificently well at the London Marathon. She ran the marathon in just over 3.5 hours.
Wow.
And she decided, and her husband, that they deserved a week off after that, and me and Deb have had the 3 children. So it's been...
You've been shouted at them?
Hectic. They've been shouting at me, not me shouting at them.
6 minutes gone in the first half at the Amex Community Stadium. Brighton 0, Tottenham 0. Brighton, Robert Sanchez in goal. As Tony says, similar systems, so both playing with the back 3. Veltman, Dunk and Webster, that is, for Brighton. Solly March wide right, Estepinian wide on the left, Alexis McAllister and Moises Caicedo in midfield, Gross and Trossard either side of Danny Welbeck.
Even there, and this will happen with Trossard as well when Brighton get the ball, if you can pull the pockets and work the pockets between the centre half and the holding midfield player, either side of him, you will find good space. And if Tottenham can get the ball into Son and Brighton get it into Trossard, the two of them are very, very dangerous players and goal scorers, and can create goals for the team as well.
Højbjerg in the centre circle, Bentancur, piercing ball forward. Doherty's made a good run, he's into the penalty area, loses his footing a little, pressure on behind, he's claiming a corner, and he's got the decision in the end. That took a long time for the referee to make a decision, not particularly helped by his assistant referee. Changed his mind, he's given it as a goal kick.
Someone upstairs has spoken to him.
Yes, Matt Doherty has hoofed that ball out of play. That is definitely... he was in a great position there. He was half clipped there, Tony.
Yeah.
He could have possibly...
Oh, don't.
Okay, don't. I'm not going to say it. You know what I'm going to say, but I'm not,
Yeah.
We'll leave it unsaid. We'll leave it unsaid. But there was, I don't know.
It was a great run by Doherty.
Yeah.
He's come short, pulled off, and then stretched him long. Good pass as well. And both teams look as though they're going to drop off and play really deep, so they're going to have to be patient. Both teams will be patient and look for those spaces in front and in the pockets.
Robert Sanchez, all in orange, clears the ball with his right foot. Great leap by Danny Welbeck to win the flick on. Romero hoiks it away for Tottenham. The ball drops midway inside their own half. Solly March plays it forward to Pascal Gross. Ben Davies has that covered, shepherding him out towards the right-hand touchline. Down the line it goes to March in his green boots. Lovely turn to try and beat Sessegnon. Sessegnon sticks with him, holds him up. March gets it back to Gross. Gross dummies across with his right foot, then with his left he swings it deep all the way out to Brighton's left wing, and Estupinian, after Doherty wins the header, gets onto that ball and plays it back to Webster. So now it's Brighton's turn to try and put the pressure on. Loose pass and Tottenham have won it. Højbjerg trying to get Kane away down the right hand side. Webster's with him shoulder to shoulder. Kane holds him off. Low left footed drive is blocked on the edge of the box. Comes back to Højbjerg. Finds Kane again on the right. He's looking for Son at the far post. Dunk gets a header on it. Hooked away by Gross, but here come Tottenham again. Ben Davies looking for the 1-2, but Højbjerg plays it back to Bissouma. Coming up to 9 minutes played, still Brighton 0, Tottenham 0. Romero slides in to win the ball midway inside the Brighton half, but it goes out for a throw into Brighton on the left. Tony Pulis.
Yeah, it's a bright start. Both teams, I know Antonio has taken a little bit of stick for being a bit pragmatic, but they've got some top players, Tottenham. And if they get into a rhythm, with the two front players as well, you look at Son, you look at Kane, fantastic players and fantastic goal scorers.
Yeah, I'm going to give you that Tottenham lineup again in a second, because just talking about Son and Kane, that is the change. So they're more of a front two, as they were before Richarlison joined in the summer and has been playing in the team recently. So Richarlison is on the bench. They've got Hugo Lloris in goal. Their back three, Romero, Dyer and Davis. Davis in for Longley. Both wing backs have changed. Doherty and Sessegnon in for the suspended Emerson Royale and Ivan Perisic, who's on the bench. Midfield three of Højbjerg, Bentancur and the former Brighton man Yves Bissouma. Son and Kane up top. Gross, good ball into the feet of Welbeck. Turns on the edge of the Tottenham area. Rolls a pass low to his right. Solly March dummies onto his left foot, goes onto his right, fires a cross in. Ben Davies blocks it. Chested down by Trossard. That's the first time I've mentioned his name in the commentary. Almost 10 minutes into the game. Gets away.
Far.
Yeah, well, he'll definitely pop up again. McAllister with a low ball out to the right. March, lovely first time pass. Gross drives it into the box, and this time Eric Dyer is there to clear for Tottenham. McAllister chips one into the air, and Hugo Lloris plucks it out of the sky and holds on to it for Tottenham. 0-0.
Yeah, Brighton have worked out very, very well with their midfield players. Their midfield players are dropping out wide, again into those the pockets where the space is. They're not playing up against players, they're actually pulling them out or trying to pull their players out, and Brighton worked it really well. They're a good footballing team, Brighton. They keep the ball, they're very patient, but they also play with a purpose. They don't just play football, they play with a purpose. 4
wins, 2 draws, 1 defeat for Brighton so far this season. That defeat was 2-1 away to Fulham. Roberto De Zerbi, the 43-year-old Italian, now in charge of the team and watching Tottenham attack his team down the left. Sessegnon chases the ball, whips a good cross into the penalty area. Doherty arrives and hits the ball into the ground and then wide, caught it with his left foot, but that was dangerous from Tottenham.
Yeah, great move through the pitch again, 2 or 3 passes. Son does well holding it up. Hove plays a great pass then to Sessegnon. It's a great cross as well. And Doherty, let's have a look. Yeah, he's a little bit unfortunate, but good play by Tottenham.
Brighton take the goal kick short. Brighton 0, Tottenham 0. Tony Pulis with us here on the south coast. His ball is headed forward by Tottenham, but Brighton win it just inside their own half. Pascal Gross thought he was fouled, but the flag's gone up actually for an offside against Solly March, and Gross thinks he should have had a free kick before he actually played the pass. 6:06 will follow us this evening. Chris Sutton and Robbie Savage will be taking the calls through until 9 o'clock. I imagine we'll be hearing from one of them at half-time this evening, and then from half-time onwards the lines will be open. I'll give you the number and you can have your say on the day's football with them tonight. Bournemouth 2, Leicester 1, Chelsea 3, Wolves 0, Manchester City top of the table having beaten Southampton 4-0. Haaland got just the one, and Newcastle, we heard from Eddie Howe just before the game here, thumping Brentford by 5-1. Bruno Guimaraes was getting high praise from his boss. He scored a couple of goals in that game. 0-0 here between Brighton and Tottenham. Bissouma almost lost it, plays it back to Eric Dyer. Brighton, by the way, I've described the Tottenham kit, are in familiar Brighton kit, and that is the blue and white vertical stripes with the white shorts and the white socks. Bentancur to Kane, who's dropped a little deeper here, pings a diagonal ball into the Brighton box. March leaps to volley it away. McAllister plays it into midfield. Brighton have lost it. Son on the dribble, lines up a left-footed shot, gets underneath it, balloons it over the bar. Goal kick for Brighton.
Yeah, you've got to be careful turning the ball over, especially in your own half. Like I say, both teams look as though they're going for it. There's some good football being played. Good football in respect to playing through the pitch, not backward side square and back to the goalkeeper and backward side square and back to the goalkeeper again. They're really looking positive. Both teams are looking to run forward and play forward. Looks as though it's going to be a good game. Have I just put the numbers on that?
Let's hope not. Brighton take the goal kick short. Sanchez passes to the edge of his box. Caicedo plays it to Lewis Dunk, back to Sanchez. They're giving Harry Kane a bit of a chasing, but Kane's going to happily lurk there in case something breaks his way inside the penalty area. Webster very delicately floats a pass beautifully out to the right, and Joel Veltman suddenly has a load of space in front of him, and he goes steaming up that right-hand touchline, crosses the halfway line. Solly March drives the diagonal ball across field. Doherty backpedaling wins the header, nods it down to Bentancur, and that's good from Doherty. Made the run, having won the header, ran into space, moving forward down the right, and that's not good. That's an awful pass.
Yeah, well, if he got his head up, if he switched play then, he had Sessegnon, was in loads and loads of space.
Went for a ball down the inside right channel, trying to find either Kane or Son, and Adam Webster very easily cut it out. 14 minutes played in the first half. Brighton 0, Tottenham 0. Antonio Conte, dressed all in black again, paying respects to his great friend, fitness coach Gian Piero Ventrone, who Tottenham are remembering fondly today. Getting a little more animated on the sidelines now. He's doing the finger jabbing and the pointing. There he goes again, because Brighton are building play inside the Tottenham half. McAllister plays back into his own half. Veltman to Dunk in the short sleeve Brighton shirt. First time ball from McAllister to Webster, who tries to whip one up the channel for Trossard. It's beyond Trossard, and it runs through to Hugo Lloris.
Yeah, Tottenham had done well there. Their pressing was very, very good. They cut the two centre halves off, and then they pressed him really, really quickly and nearly won it back.
That was a lovely little delicate layoff from Kane into the path of Bentancur. Bentancur was stopped in his tracks by Dunk. Danny Welbeck nips in to make a good touch for Brighton, gets the ball quickly out to Gross on the right hand side. This is the same Brighton team that drew 3-3 at Anfield last week, took that early 2-0 lead, then found themselves 3-2 down, but had the skill and determination to get back and equalise 3-3. Kane, I think he might have overhit that, very unlike Harry Kane. Sessegnon in acres of space on the left, and the Brighton fans cheer as Kane's pass is overhit and goes behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, Oberg, they're brilliant in midfield again. Took the ball off the Brighton player, good pass to Kane, and very, very sloppy from Kane. It was a simple pass which he missed or overhit.
5:45, Tony. Ian Dennis was on the Chelsea Wolves commentary this afternoon. Do you think he'll be back in the car, possibly listening by now? Because I know he's absolutely desperate to find out the result of the aforementioned golf match.
I'm not saying nothing.
No, I know you're quite keen for the news of the result not to leak out in case it costs you a couple of strokes on the handicap. All I'm going to say, it was very one-sided. And I was on the wrong side of it. That's all. And I think people will know. What went on. Brighton 0, Tottenham 0. 16 minutes gone in the first half. Lewis Dunk has the ball at his feet. Harry Kane just comes creeping towards him. Dunk's giving it away. Found Son. Son couldn't find Kane, and Dunk breathed a sigh of relief as he just knocks a pass back to Webster. McAllister turning one round the corner. Lovely first time ball from Trossard to Gross. Gross looking for the run of Danny Welbeck. Arms pumping into the Tottenham box. Drives it across goal. Very nearly found the bottom corner. Wide it goes. Goal kick for Tottenham. Lovely football from Brighton.
Yeah, again, good football in respect of playing through the pitch. Great layoff. Good pass. Runners through the pitch. It's been that game. It's been a real good start to the game.
By the way, just on the old Italian battle in the technical areas, so De Zerbi against Conte, that is Sassuolo against Inter. So De Zerbi used to manage Sassuolo amongst other teams in Serie A. Today, our producer Sohail Sahi noticed Sassuolo have played Inter today. Sassuolo were at home and Inter won it by 2-1. So could that be an omen for what goes on here this afternoon? Ben Davies floats a pass down the middle. Dunk reads it well, chests the ball down into midfield. Gross plays it back to McAllister. Lovely first time ball, and Solly March is able to get away down the right. He's away from Sessegnon. Dyer comes across to cover. March overruns it. Dyer times the challenge beautifully, wins the ball, and Solly March goes flying.
Yeah, they're unlucky then, Brighton. Again, it was a great break, and they're off again.
Højbjerg over the top with a quick one. Kane's going to get there first. Webster behind him. Cheeky little shove in the back. Kane hits the shot. Sanchez makes the save.
I think it was handball.
Handball by Harry Kane. Do you know what? I think Kane knew that was handball, but he did what any good striker should do, Tony. I'll have a hit. Oh, he's got booked for it. Kane's got booked because referee saying you should have stopped because you heard my whistle, and Kane thought, do you know what? I'm going to take a chance and I'll hit the shot just in case it goes in. Yeah, that is a very obvious handball. So hang on, has he been yellow carded for the handball or for hitting the shot after the whistle blew?
I haven't got a clue.
It's a little bit harsh if it's the handball, because I'm not sure that was... Do you think it was a cheeky one, or do you think...
Oh, it was definitely a cheeky one, yeah.
It's a cheeky one. Well, that's interesting. England captain in the book quite early on. 18 minutes gone first half. Brighton 0, Tottenham 0. All the highlights tonight. Match of the day, 10:25, BBC One. And all the details, as always, rounded up in the Football Daily podcast, available via the BBC Sounds app tomorrow. You'll be able to hear Sports Report on there in case you missed any of it this evening. Loads of post-match reaction to the 3 o'clock kickoffs. Brighton fans happy. Their teams want to throw high up the field on the left-hand side. The transition so far in its very early days from Potter ball to De Zerbi ball has been pretty smooth. That doesn't quite trip off the tongue, does it? We've got to find something better than that.
I'm sure you will.
We will.
As you go along.
We will by the end of the game. Here's Dunk.
There's that space again in those little pockets.
Yeah.
It drags one of the centre halves out, and then if you've got a little setup, you can get runners into those spaces that the centre half has left behind them. So it's important that they do that they get little setups and runners. But it's been a good game, Alistair. You know, it's like I say, it's because both teams look as though they want to play forward and they want to run forward.
Antonio Conte, hands in pockets, watches his team start to build inside their own half, but too slowly for his liking. Dyer strokes a pass to Bentancur. Back it comes to Romero. Romero to Dyer, who's in the short sleeve Tottenham change kit as Davis plays down the line to Sessegnon. Son's made a great run here for Sessegnon. He's on the ball, he's up against Veltman, and he's cutting in from the left hand side. Son still with the ball at his feet, rolls it across to Bentancur, takes a touch, hits that well, and Sanchez full stretch, palms it behind for a corner. Good shot, great save.
Yeah, good play again. You know, Son does really well. Good ball across the box, good touch out of his feet, and a great save from the goalkeeper.
Yeah, athleticism, strong left hand. That was swerving in the air as well. Oh, that's a good one for the cameramen behind the goal, that. Robert Sanchez, the Spaniard, in full flight. Keeps this game at 0-0. 20 minutes played. A few gulls circling over the roof of the stadium.
Just looking at Brighton, the way they're marking.
Yeah.
It looks as though they're marking zonal. Or are they marking man for man? I can't actually...
It's a whole bunch of bodies in that 6-yard box. Harry Kane's involved in some wrestling in there.
The edge of the box is open if they were going to play the edge of the box.
Yeah, Son though is going to whip that into the near post. Enough Brighton bodies to get it away. It comes out to Højbjerg, who's lobbed a little pass to Son, works it onto his left foot, took a touch, and in it goes. Harry Kane is up off the floor and celebrating the goal. Son, I think, was shooting. Kane's got a touch to it, and it's ended up in the back of the Brighton net. And it's that famous old partnership for Tottenham. Son and Kane. Brighton 0, Tottenham 1.
I'd like to see the setup again, the defensive setup, because they look very, very open in certain positions, Alistair. But, you know, they've done well. Tottenham have recycled it, got it back out to Son, who shapes the cross, comes back, and then it's a left foot crossing that Kane heads in.
Just watching it again on the monitor here. Son, having taken the corner, got back into space, whips it in. He's onside. He's definitely onside. That's a great header, Tony, isn't it?
Yeah, well, top class player.
I thought Son was shooting, but you're absolutely spot on. He's whipping across into a dangerous area, and Kane, that's an awkward one, and he's stooped and he's flicked it and he's turned his head and just guided it perfectly into the back of the net.
Yeah. So why have we stopped?
Because VAR were checking the goal. I imagine for the offside, we could see very clearly that it wasn't. And the cheers you then hear after the second whistle of the Tottenham fans saying, thank you very much, we'll have our goal. Brighton 0, Tottenham 1. You see, Tony, you're missing this now as a manager with the VAR.
Yeah,
you'd have loved it.
Oh, yeah.
You'd have loved
I'd have been doing somersaults.
Midway through the first half. Been a really difficult week for Tottenham, as we were saying, on and off the field. But they lead here by a goal to 0.
And I'll say this, I like VAR, I'm for VAR.
Yes.
It's not VAR that gets it wrong, it's the referees.
Oh, Brighton have given it away. Kane's on the ball, edge of the box, slides it to his right, cross comes in, Son was there, and Brighton managed to get bodies in the way. Bentancur plays it back to Bissouma, another ball in, but that's way too far ahead of Kane. Kane had actually dropped deeper and wanted the ball to the back of there. He's making that point to Bissouma now. It goes behind for a goal kick.
It's been a great, or is it how long we've been playing?
We've been playing 23 minutes.
Yeah, it's been a great opening to the game.
Yeah.
Both teams look hell-bent on going forward. Tottenham have been very, very positive. And it's made for a really, really good game. Solly March has tried to volley a first-time ball infield to Welbeck. He's not quite made the contact, so Tottenham are on the front foot again. And they've worked it quickly over to the right-hand side of the pitch. So we sit right above the tunnel here. We can see the two managers just 15, 20 yards in front of us, both dressed in all black. And Tottenham playing from right to left in the first half, have the ball over on the other side of the field. Giving it away, Estupinian, who was the £15 million signing from Villarreal this summer, the left wing back for Brighton, has played it into midfield. Caicedo quickly on to Gross to March. March back into the feet of Alexis McAllister, who's just controlling things from the base of midfield. And Brighton now working it from right to left. Webster on the ball inside the Tottenham half. Comes back to Dunk, closed down quickly by Son. Thought he was caught by Son there as he played the ball forward. Hasn't found a teammate, and the ball is with Hugo Lloris. Tottenham are really at it. They look as though they really, really are at it at the moment.
Lloris has the ball in hand. He's all in lemon yellow, white boots, white gloves. Bowls it out underarm to Ben Davies. Thought about going to Højbjerg to his left. Højbjerg's frustrated he didn't. He went back to Lloris. Across to Romero. Brighton start the press to try and pen Tottenham in here. Tottenham try and play through it. Up forward to Bentancur from Bissouma. Bentancur, though, has come back to Lloris. Side foots one away.
Antonio's going mad because the space is on this side of the pitch. Someone got their head up and switched it.
Bentancur was trying to get his head up there and look for a runner. Son went down, doesn't get the free kick. Brighton have it. 20 minutes remaining in the first half. Brighton 0, Tottenham 1. If you are just tuning in, it's another Harry Kane goal. It's not quite Erling Haaland numbers yet this season, but that is 8 for the season. And I tell you what, I looked at this actually as Kane is putting pressure here on Alexis McAllister, who just got that ball back to Sanchez, because sniper movement from Kane and Son, and then Brighton have won a throw as Adam Webster is tackled wide on the right hand side, throwing to Brighton on the left. Harry Kane is now 10 goals behind Jimmy Greaves' club record.
Absolutely brilliant
for Tottenham. So Greaves got 266 in 380 games. Kane's got 256 in 397. So at a pretty similar rate, just behind the break.
He's been brilliant.
Yeah, and he'll get there, won't he? He'll get there.
Yeah,
he'll get there.
No doubt about it.
Yeah, if all is well and he doesn't get injured, and we certainly hope he doesn't. From England's point of view as well, they'll be thinking that World Cup just around the corner. Euro 2024 draw actually is on Sunday. The qualification draw on Sunday. John Murray over in Frankfurt for that one, so make sure you're tuned into 5 Live.
Gets all the good jobs, doesn't he, John?
Yeah, I know. Webster, Trossard deep, over the top, nearly found Welbeck. Ball gets away from Welbeck. Lloris comes flying off his line, throws himself forward.
See, that's what really annoys me more than anything else. You're playing with 3 centre-halves there, marking one player, and nobody knows who's picking him up. You know, on that turnover, one pass can get him in. You know, they should be more organised than that at the back. Dyer should be organising it.
Kane takes a quick throw, gets Sessegnon way down the left, cross in, and Son wasn't there in time, unusually for him. That was brilliant, quick thinking from Harry Kane. Sessegnon was alert to it, fired the cross across the face of goal, and Son was just a yard behind it, and the ball went straight across. Had he been there, he would have been able to stick it away. 18 minutes remaining in the first half. Brighton 0, Tottenham 1. Welbeck in the centre circle. Plays it to Pascal Gross. Welbeck continues his run. Into the box he goes. Gross goes low into the feet of Trossard. He's been well marshalled by Tottenham so far this afternoon, and McAllister is forced to come back to the halfway line, and Lewis dunks. So Trossard got his hat-trick last week. In Brighton's last 2 wins against Tottenham in the last couple of seasons, both 1-0, he has scored the winner both times. Here he is, ball round the corner to Welbeck, finds Gross, back to Welbeck, and nearly found Trossard on the edge of the box. Tottenham try and play out. Oh, that's poor from Bissouma, couldn't find Højbjerg. So Solly March has it. March to McAllister. Caicedo, driven shot, and Lloris palms it away at full stretch to his right-hand side. Saw it from a long way out and threw himself acrobatically to get there. Son onto that clearance, nearly. Can't get away. Brighton have it again, and they will try and attack Tottenham, and the Brighton fans urge them on. Here's McAllister. McAllister to Caicedo. Trossard swings a right boot near the ball as if he was going to pass it, but didn't. Seagulls is the chance.
The space is on this side again. You know, if you can get a quick switch.
Space open on the right, and it's Pascal Gross who's hugging the right-hand touchline. Brighton are back inside their own half with Dunk. Dunk's going to go up the middle of the field, and Eric Dyer read that, intercepts. Højbjerg knocked off the ball in midfield. Caicedo to Trossard again, just opens his body, opens his foot, and hits the first-time ball. Højbjerg there to mop up for Tottenham. Harry Kane has got 3 blue and white shirts around him, plays it back into the left-back position, and Sessegnon, quite rightly, goes back to goalkeeper Lloris. Lloris gets the ball quickly out and away from his feet and plays it forward to Romero. Little 1-2 with Bissouma. Back it comes to Dyer. Dyer striding forward just outside the D on the edge of his own penalty area. 1-2 with Højbjerg. Another little 1-2. Trying to draw those Brighton players in. Kane stumbles. Can't control the ball on the halfway line. Has a little moan up. Referee Tony Harrington who's not interested
Yeah, the referee was right.
Dunk to McAllister, had to try and receive that, under pressure, wins the free kick. Højbjerg felt he won the ball cleanly, but the referee says McAllister was fouled, and Brighton want to take it quickly. Referee's not going to let them. He said the ball was rolling. So then they take the free kick, and they do exactly the same thing by giving it to Gross. Trossard made a lovely run, great step over as well, let the ball run to Welbeck. Across here to Caicedo. Estupinian starts his run. Caicedo, though, has support from Webster on the left. Back it comes to Estupinian. Little 1-2 with Gross. Back to Webster, who's in a left wing position now. Brighton still working it. Caicedo to Webster. Estupinian now hugging the touchline on the left. Here's Caicedo again. Caicedo's short pass to McAllister. Still midway inside the Tottenham half. McAllister caught late by Bissouma. Brighton keep playing. Here's an advantage. Welbeck on the turn to Trossard. Welbeck might get this back edge of the box. Challenge comes in, and now the referee stops the play, and the yellow card will be given to the former Brighton man, Yves Bissouma. And Harry Kane, the captain, is allowed to talk to the referee, but I think he's got to be a little bit careful. He's on a yellow card himself.
It's definitely, well, you're going to see it now on the replay. It looks a definite free kick.
Yeah. Oh, I tell you what, VAR might have a look at that, because Emerson Royale, no, maybe not actually, Tony. He's stretching, isn't he? And he's coming in
with his studs up.
And he catches McAllister, because McAllister's played the pass and his foot is following through, so the leg is not planted. The tackle's not a clever one, though, is it, Tony?
Are they looking at it?
Well, they will, and then we will see what decision is made. If anything's going to happen on these big screens away to our right and left, it will say VAR having a look at potential red card. I think he's going to be all right. Brighton 0, Tottenham 1, and we've played just over a half an hour on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. West Ham Fulham is our commentary at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon on 5 Live, and then the big Premier League clash of the weekend is Arsenal Liverpool. We've got that in full at 4:30. Palace against Leeds at 2 o'clock is available in full on Sports Extra tomorrow. 5 Live's also got full coverage of the Japanese Grand Prix. You've got to be up early for that one. Starts at 5:45 our coverage. Gross's free kick into the box. Welbeck wins the nod down, and then the driven shot from Trossard is deflected. Balloons high in the air, spins to the right. Sessegnon's there quickly. This might come our way. Thought we might be able to win a header there. Punched back by the Brighton fans, but they've got the old multi-ball system going. They've taken the throw in straight away of Brighton. 13 minutes left in this first half. It's been entertaining. Brighton 0, Tottenham 1. Veltman back to Sanchez, who just trots back into his penalty area. Tottenham come rushing up the pitch to put the pressure on. Kane nearly got a foot on the clearance there. Sessegnon's pushed there by Solly March. That was clear foul. Free kick for Tottenham, just inside the Brighton half. They've taken that quickly, so the game is rolling. Adam Lallana, I can see, Brighton sub, just scribbling a couple of autographs. Wonder whether you might get to see him a little bit later on.
What a good player Adam was, and still is, technically.
Caicedo to his left. Estupinian makes a good run to pick up that ball. Back heels to Trossard. Trossard tackled. Brighton win it back. Ball played out to Trossard, into the feet of McAllister. Across here to Gross. Thought he might try and hit one from the edge of the box. Slides it to his right and finds March. March delays on the cross. First cross hits the body of Sessegnon. Comes back to March. Gross is there for Solly March if he wants him. Eventually plays it back, and now he floats a high curling ball to the far post. Couple of Tottenham defenders jump. Brighton have won themselves a corner. Brighton 0, Tottenham 1. Tony Pulis.
Yeah, the space is, like I say, in the pockets, but also both teams are dropping off, and the switch of play, if they can just open themselves up, and the midfield players, the opposite midfield player, pull out a bit, there's loads of space there as well. It's just finding that space, Alistair, to give them the opportunity and the chance then to play forward and go forward.
Christian Romero is down, hurt for Tottenham, and is claiming he got an elbow in the ribs. It was Estupinian, Doherty and Romero who all jumped for the ball. He's going to be okay, Romero. Big tough centre back. He'll be absolutely fine.
We hope so.
Yeah. Corner Brighton. 11 minutes remaining in the first half, trailing Tottenham by a 1-0.
Again, all the bodies on the near post.
And it comes to that near post. Højbjerg wins the first header. Not quite enough on it to beat that first man. And the Tottenham fans are going to play a bit of volleyball there in the way end to our right hand side, but Brighton already have another ball and they're good to go. Who's Antonio Conte trying to get in touch with here? He just wants someone moving a yard to the right or so, but he's not able to get his message across. Here comes that corner, driven hard. Bentancur flicks the header backwards out of the Tottenham box. Lewis Dunk chases it, whips across him with his right foot. Doherty blocks, another corner for Brighton.
Yeah, I think they've got to be a bit careful, Tottenham, because everybody's getting attracted to the near post, and Dunk pulled off then. You know, if he pulls off, you've got him pulling off, who's good in the air. Webster pulling off, who's good in the air. They get a free run at it, it'll be difficult to defend.
Pascal Gross could take this. Solly March could take this. It's coming in from the right as Brighton attack. It is Gross, so it's an away swinger. Good delivery with his right foot, and the header is just over the crossbar. Webster was up, couldn't quite keep it down. Maybe it was Dunk who got the final header on it, but Brighton come close to scoring.
Yeah, great ball in.
Dunk.
Yeah.
You were right, you just said.
It just they pull off away from that near post. Tottenham got all their bodies around that near post.
Close. Shaving the crossbar, and over it went. And Hugo Lloris takes his goal kick short to Eric Dyer, who fires it out to Romero. Romero is closed down quickly by Estupinian high up the field on the left-hand side. It comes off his shins and goes out for a throw into Tottenham in their right-back position. More reaction to the day's football coming at half-time here on 5 Live with Mark Chapman. And then 6:06 to follow us this evening with Chris Sutton and Robbie Savage. Brighton 0, Tottenham 1 in front of us at the moment. Sanchez plays the ball out to Veltman. Veltman across to Webster. Webster forward to Welbeck. Tries to turn it round the corner here to Trossard. Bissouma is able to get to Trossard's pass. Tottenham have it. Doherty, risky pass. Ben Davies leaps to control it. Is able to play a 1-2. Here's Davies. Nice ball with his left foot. Advantage played as Davies was fouled. Bentancur's crossing is looking for Kane. Veltman is able to head it away. Might fall to Son. Son gets the ball to Kane. Kane immediately closed down by a couple of Brighton defenders, so he's forced out of the penalty area. Curls a pass across here to Christian Romero. Back to Bissouma. Brighton now back in numbers in their defensive shape, and Ben Davies plays a little 1-2 with Yves Bissouma. Dyer to his right finds Romero. Romero rolls the ball under his studs, so does Bissouma. Again, they're just trying to draw these Brighton players in. Dyer towards Højbjerg, just inside the Brighton half in a central position. Bentancur lays it off to Romero, back to Højbjerg.
Space is the other side, now he can run it forward.
They've worked it well to the left, and Ben Davies is running forward for Tottenham. Plays it low to his left. Sessegnon floats the cross in. It's attacked by Doherty, cleared by Brighton. Bissouma is there. Now he knows he's got to be careful, he's on the yellow card, so just slowed down as he went running into that challenge. March plays it back to McAllister. Veltman's first time clearance. Højbjerg heads it forward. Ben Davies stays forward in the attack. Clever ball. Sessegnon in on the angle. Veltman gets his body in the way. Good defending, and behind it goes for the goal kick to Brighton.
Yeah, great defending, but good play by Tottenham as well. You know, the way they're working the ball, I think switch and play, if you could see it again, the outside centre half or the outside midfield player on the opposite side of the pitch are the spare players at the moment, because you're playing a similar shape against one another. You know, the teams are coming across the side of the ball, leaving the other side just a little bit empty.
Webster's ball forward intercepted by Romero, couldn't keep it for Tottenham. Here's McAllister under pressure. Son gets a block on his pass. It spins up in the air. Dyer heads it forward from the halfway line.
Here's the space again.
Yeah, good awareness from McAllister, just flicks his header to the right, and here is the space for Veltman, bringing that ball down the right hand side. Conte manically waving at Tottenham.
Yeah, I think Brighton are getting it. I think they're finding out where the space is.
Webster to McAllister, 40 yards from goal. Layoff from Trossard. Solly March drives it just wide. Fizzing shot, and Hugo Lloris could only stand and watch it fly past and go behind for the goal kick. 17 attempts on goal this season, Solly March, and yet to score. He wasn't far away there, Tony.
So close.
Nice build-up.
Well, interchanging as well. March has come inside, and then Gross has gone outside as the wide player. You know, good interchanging. But good play.
Son's header doesn't find Kane. Webster onto it. Looked like he'd overhit it. Nice ball from Gross to Welbeck. Lays it off to Caicedo. Estupinian takes a touch. Stands the cross up. Højbjerg is there. Heads it behind for a Brighton corner. Listen to the reaction inside the stadium. Brighton fans believing something good is about to happen. 6 minutes remaining in the first half. Harry Kane's goal, his 9th in 11 games against Brighton, has Tottenham in front. But Tottenham under a little bit of pressure. If Tottenham win the game, by the way, should have said that at the start of play, they'll move to 20 points. They'll be 1 behind Arsenal. They'll be 3 behind Manchester City. Arsenal will have the game in hand. They'll play that against Liverpool tomorrow. Corner will come in from the left. Little touch on it. And Son knew exactly what was going on there. He was quick as a flash onto the left-footed cross. He's blocked it. It's gone behind for another corner. So let's see if Brighton are going to go short again. This time Gross gets the ball back, curls that cross in. Ball is up in the air. Lloris comes and at the second attempt is able to grab it, goes leaning over the head of Adam Webster to do so, runs to the edge of his box, volleys it forward. Son controls it brilliantly. Estupiñán slipped. Son lays it off to Hojbjerg on his right. Plays back to Bentancur. Little 1-2 between Bentancur again with Hojbjerg, and back Tottenham come across the field. Dyer has to just break into a little sprint to make sure he can keep that ball in play. He's done it. Just inside his own half. 1-2 again with Bentancur. And Tottenham closing in on a half-time lead. 5 minutes remaining in this first half. Brighton 0, Tottenham 1. Bentancur very nearly saw that pass intercepted by Welbeck. Dyer to Davis. Sessegnon comes deep for Davis down the left. Ball stroked towards Son. Couldn't get a foot on it. Veltman to Caicedo, quickly onto Trossard, who's able to turn for Brighton. 35 yards out in a central position on the dribble. Beats Romero. Estupiñán plays it back to Trossard. Trossard turns, comes back to the edge of the box. Caicedo passes across to Pascal Gross, and his shot is blocked by Ben Davis on the edge of the box. Headed away by Doherty. Son controls it. Brighton fans shout handball. Tottenham allowed to keep playing. Sessegnon forward to Son. This is where they can be dangerous. God, Doherty well forward. Pass comes late. Doherty's offside, but it might fall to Sessegnon. Veltman. Oh, he's lost it. Now, did he get a shove there? Referee says yes. Free kick to Brighton.
They're straight off again. It's been some game.
No rest, is it, Tony? Restarts quick from both teams. Great skills on show as well. Trossard has shown some lovely touches, as he so often does in this first half. He's backheel the ball back to the halfway line. Dunk comes striding forward. Brighton 0, Tottenham 1. 5 Live, always available via the BBC Sounds app if you want to listen to us on the move this weekend. McAllister wide to March. March to Trossard. Trossard gets a toe on it ahead of Dyer, but it runs away from him, and behind it goes for the goal.
It's lovely to see people wanting to play forward and people who want to run forward as well, and both teams have had that. They get good setups, they get runners, they got wide people stretching the game. It's been such a entertaining game.
You said something that made me chuckle early on in this first half about, and it's absolutely true, Antonio Conte has had a little bit of stick for being, a little too pragmatic, and Tottenham maybe have lost a bit of their sort of flowing football. I'll come back to you in a second, Tony, because Bissouma's had to clear from the edge of his own penalty area here. Dunk heads the ball high in the air, sideways. Doherty's header intercepted by Caicedo. Trossard looking for Welbeck. Quick pass forward. Dyer intercepts it. Looks for Son. Finds Son. Son is crowded out and loses it. And now Dunk has it inside his own half. The thing I was thinking as you said it is I don't think Antonio Conte is going to be too bothered about that, is he? He's not going to listen to that. He's going to do it his way.
He'll take no notice of the noise around him. He's been a top manager, and he's a top manager. And he's a very, very good bloke as well. So, yeah.
Yes.
His team are playing well today.
5 top flight titles he's won. Now Tottenham fans would love him to win a top flight title with them. 3 with Juventus, 1 with Chelsea, 1 with Inter. Caicedo and Bissouma battling for a ball. It clears them both. Hojbjerg heads it to Sessegnon. About 90 seconds left in the first half. Hojbjerg goes down, no free kick. Trossard, first time ball touch to Welbeck. Welbeck turns, plays it out to Pascal Gross, looks up, low ball to the edge of the box, trying to find Welbeck. Welbeck now has to win it back, but he's done that for Brighton. Caicedo dribbles forward, Welbeck again, hits it with his left foot. Lloris makes the save at his near post, headed back into the box, and Bissouma with an overhead clearance. Hojbjerg is still down. What are Brighton going to do? They're going to keep playing. It's not a head injury. He's holding his lower back, and Brighton are quite happy to keep going. Antonio Conte is telling his team to concentrate. Deep cross, Doherty is there, wins the header, and actually is able to chase his own header.
Just play on.
Keep the ball in play, and now he's okay. No, he's put it out of play to check that Hojbjerg's okay.
Yeah. I don't change that rule. Not change the rule. If it's an head injury, it's a head injury. But people falling down and trying to break play up at times.
Yeah,
so frustrating.
Yeah, you've obviously got to be careful as the referee, and you've got to read it. But we could see clearly. I think A, wasn't a foul, and B, okay, he's hurt, but it's because he's fallen over and he's going to be okay.
Well, I'll go against you there. I don't think he was hurt.
30 seconds left in the first half. Fourth official is out with the ball. That is Graham Scott. And Hugo Lloris has the ball at his feet. Harry Kane's 8th goal of the season has Tottenham in front. Board is going up. And we'll give you a number in just a second. Kane gives Lewis Dunk a good shove as Dunk wins the header. Bentancur jumps, flicks it back to Bissouma. Bentancur onto the next ball, just 1 minute of added time. Tottenham looking for a second late in the first half, but Brighton have won it. And Brighton fans want one more attack, one more attempt on goal if their team can manage it at the end of the first half. McAllister saw Kane coming, whips his pass away across the Brighton half. Adam Webster, long strides taken quickly forward, 10 yards into the Tottenham half. 1-2 with Trossard, who's dropped deeper. Back it comes to Lewis Dunk. 30 seconds left in the first half. Brighton are going to have to get this forward a little more quickly, and Dunk's going to do that with a low ball up the right channel. Gross out to Solly March on the right. Sessegnon slides in, concedes the free kick. A little bit unnecessary that. Brighton going nowhere, and now they can take one. No, they're not going to go long, they're going to go short. I was going to say they could throw one up there.
They just keep the ball moving.
They're going to keep it moving.
Spot it and play all the time.
They might run out of time here. That's my worry for them. Webster's ball high out to Solly March. March tackled by Sessegnon. Referee looks at his watch, no free kick, and blows the half-time whistle. Entertaining first half on the south coast. Tottenham have the lead. It was Harry Kane's goal midway through the first half. Son's curling cross with his left foot, and it was a really deft header from Kane to guide it past Robert Sanchez. But Hugo Lloris has been called into action a couple of times, and I think we've got a good second half in prospect. Tony Pulis.
Well, I've enjoyed it. It's been a smashing game to watch. There's been two teams who have played positive football. Brighton have come strong. Last 10 minutes, quarter of an hour of that half. They were the dominant source, and Lloris has made a couple of really, really good saves. But as a watch, it's a great watch. Yeah,
a cup of tea with a little bit of honey and lemon for Tony's throat for the second half. And I tell you, this game...
I've got my man on it. I've got my man on it.
You've already sorted it. Producer Sahail's going to get onto that. And this game, Mark, I have to tell you, a lot closer than the golf match was earlier on today. Brighton, honestly, I got absolutely thrashed.
Did
Brighton
you?
0, Tottenham 1. Oh, it was
Do you know
awful.
how happy that makes me?
Really?
Chappers, don't say that. You've been crying all afternoon.
Cost me lunch, Chappers. It cost me lunch.
That makes me even happier as well. Ali, Tony, thank you very much. Second half on the way here on 5 Live. Then it's 6:06 with Chris and Robbie. 08085 909 693. Here are some of the games and the stories that you might want to react to. Another goal for Erling Haaland as Manchester City beat Southampton by 4-0. Armando Broja got his first Chelsea goal against Wolves. They won 3-0 to Graham Potter's side. Big win for Newcastle at home to Brentford by 5-1. And Bournemouth came from a goal down to beat Leicester 2-1, so Leicester stay 19th with just 4 points from their opening 9 games. In the Championship, the top 2 lose. Sheffield United at Stoke, Norwich at home to Preston. Steve Bruce is under even more pressure at West Brom after a goalless draw at home to Luton. Plymouth stay top of League One after beating Accrington Stanley. Stevenage are the new leaders of League Two as they win at home again against Swindon. Celtic needed a late injury time goal from Giacomakis to beat St Johnstone. Rangers beat St Mirren 4-0. Hibs have gone third after beating Motherwell. There are 2 big games in Europe going on at the moment. In the Bundesliga at half-time, Borussia Dortmund 0, Bayern Munich 1. And they're into the second half at the San Siro. Milan lead Juventus by 2-0. Tomori actually got the first goal for Milan, did the England centre-half. Brahim Diaz has got the second. We're approaching 20 past 6. You're listening to 5 Live. Let's get the latest BBC News. Here's Carl Hartley.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
10 people, including 2 teenagers and a young girl, are now known to have died in an explosion at a petrol station in County Donegal yesterday. 8 people are in hospital, 1 is critically ill. Police say the information so far suggests it was a tragic accident in the village of Creasler. Superintendent Liam Garrity gave this update.
The emergency services continue a search and recovery operation at the site this afternoon. But based on the information available to An Garda Síochána, at this time it is not expected that there will be any further casualties located, and there are no outstanding reports of unaccounted for persons.
Moscow says some traffic is being allowed to use the undamaged section of road on the only bridge from occupied Crimea to Russia. This is just hours after it suffered damage in an explosion, which Russian officials say killed 3 people. The SNP have hit out at both Labour and the Conservatives in the first day of its party conference in Aberdeen. Deputy Leader Keith Brown challenged Tory rebels to join them in stopping a return to austerity, while the party's Westminster leader Ian Blackford described Labour as a Brexit-backing, democracy-denying, Tory-enabling party. And union leaders have insisted railway strikes will continue for as long as it takes to get what they see as a fair deal. Only about a fifth of train services have been operating across Britain today, as more than 40,000 members of the RMT union walked out in a long-running dispute over pay, jobs and working conditions.
F1.
7.3. Perez now though is on his final lap, and Verstappen is getting Vettel round the outside. Does he get it done? Yes. Max Verstappen gets Sebastian Vettel, but the focus and the glory today goes to his Red Bull teammate Sergio Perez through the final corner and wins the Singapore Grand Prix. Second win of the season for Sergio Perez.
F1.
Live race commentary from the Japanese Grand Prix.
Sunday
From 6 a.m.
on 5 Live.
The championship fight, in inverted commas, goes on.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
This is 5 Live Sport with Mark Chapman.
I mentioned some of the stories and the scorelines that you might want to talk to Chris and Robbie about. There is one other in the National League. I'm sure they will want to hear from you if you were at the racecourse ground today, where Wrexham beat Barnet by 7 goals to 5. Also, one sad piece of news involving one of the National League clubs, and that's Chesterfield, who've announced that their former manager, John Duncan, has died at the age of 73. John was the manager when they made the FA Cup semi-finals and played Middlesbrough at Old Trafford. So sad news from Chesterfield. John Duncan, their former manager, dying at the age of 73. Let's bring you more details about some of those Premier League games this afternoon. Erling Haaland got his 20th goal of the season in all competitions as Manchester City beat Southampton 4-0 to go top of the table. Here's Pep Guardiola.
Well, the result is good. We play quite good. And the team, like always, we struggle a lot to break the Southampton high pressing. They did perfectly. I would say last season we suffered a lot here in our game there, but today we really did better. We're much better. Some players were not their best, but we created a lot of chances. We have been more clinical. The result will have been great. We conceded few. Again, solid, and yeah, good game.
Phil Foden, 5 goals in 3 games. You're surprised I'm not asking about Haaland first, which is nice. But is he playing the sort of the best football since you've had him here at the moment?
No, for a long time he's playing really good. I know. Always when the team play better, every individual player gets better. But Phil, since arrived at training with us and play with us, the impact to the team, to all of us, was great.
So the Erling Haaland question. I mean, it's a shock when he doesn't score now, isn't it? Is it a shock for you when he doesn't score?
It looks like when he doesn't score 3 goals, like football is too difficult. He had the chances again. He scored a brilliant goal, and he had chances, and yeah, it's an incredible weapon for us. It's a big threat for the opponents, and yeah, so satisfied.
Can you confirm that he is human though, Pep? You know, if we open him up, is there just wires and machinery inside? You know,
it is.
Pep Guardiola with Will Perry. Southampton, on the other hand, have now lost 4 straight. Here's Ralph Hasenhüttl again with Will.
Ralph, was that exactly what you expected coming here to the Etihad?
Yeah, from the quality you're facing, definitely. From the shape they play, not, because it was a little bit surprising that they changed the shape. Yeah, he took a different decision after the last 2 games where we drawed against them, and we We had more problems today to press them high. We still tried it, and in the end, I think the result also on this height was I think absolutely okay. They had shown the difference between these two teams, and I must say that I'm not unhappy about the effort and about the braveness we tried to put on the pitch. With the ball, not so much, I think. Against the ball, yes, we have played sometimes a little bit risky, and that gives you then some moments where you have to defend quite a big space. But I think the problems in the first half were more after losing a ball in possession, but where we definitely have made a step back. We have been better in the past in possession, and this was maybe the issue in the first half where we conceded 2 goals, was always when we were in possession and losing the balls. And so overall, try to stay brave, try to give them some things to work on, and in the end, the quality you're facing here.
You see all the goals, all the incidents. Match of the day, 10:25 tonight. On BBC One to Stamford Bridge next. Wolves beaten 3-0 by Chelsea. Their caretaker manager is Steve Davis with George Cummins.
Disappointed, along with the players. We went into it very positive. I thought the positives were that we kept going. Even when we were behind, we kept going. We had good spells in the game. We rode our luck at times as well. The first half there was a lot of opportunities for them around the box. We didn't defend quite as tightly as I'd have wanted, but then the goal came out. We could have got to half time at 0-0 and then started the second half how we did and pinched something. They were 2 key moments, I felt. And if I'd say 0-0 at half time, and then the first 15 minutes with Dama put a lot of crosses into the box, we pinned them in for a spell. We've got to try and convert those opportunities that we get and try and create in the few moments that you're going to get at grounds like this.
Brentford were beaten 5-1 by Newcastle. That's their biggest defeat in the Premier League. Here's Thomas Frank.
It's tough. I hate losing. Congratulations to Newcastle. Last year, because I believe so much in my team, which I still do, I thought we will never lose 5 games on a bounce in the Premier League. Even though I know it's the most relentless and biggest league and most difficult league to be in, we did. I also thought that we never will concede 5 goals on this league because of our mentality and defensive mindset and structure and so on. We did. And in life and football, it's about how you handle your setbacks and move on from there. Going back a little bit to the game, very simple. If you want to win football matches, don't make 2 huge mistakes in terms of how you pass it to the player, almost inside your own penalty box. Don't make our own goal. And don't make a big mistake on a set piece. Well, fair play to them, but we knew exactly what they did. And the manager to take care of Bruno just need to follow him. So when you make 4 mistakes like that, then it's impossible to win a football match.
Gary O'Neill's Bournemouth came from behind to beat Leicester 2-1, and afterwards he spoke with Jonathan Overend.
Gary, so many people before the season were almost automatically writing Bournemouth off. Do you think in football people generally underestimate character and look more at sort of like the more obvious things?
I don't know. I think it could be disrespectful to our group that we credit the last few results and that on character only. There's big quality in the group. You saw that today at times. I asked them at certain moments. We were man for man with Leicester second half, and we pushed people in, and we took a risk, and the boys at the back defended against top attackers. You see what they can do on Monday. And our defenders stood up to that, and then we had some brilliant attacking moments. So the character in the group is incredible, and it is a big, your question's right, it is massive in football. Character, you can't really measure it, but it's huge. It can make a big difference. But the group showed its quality as well.
Just going to drop into the Championship because West Brom were held to a goalless draw by Luton. They've now failed to win in their last 9 league games. Afterwards, Pat Murphy spoke to Steve Bruce.
Well, defensively, we had to do something about what's been happening this season, and so we went back to play a back 3 to combat their physicality, and I thought defensive side worked very, very well today. We lacked a little bit of quality in the front end, but I thought the better chances were ours. But we've drew far too many games. We don't lose many. I think we've drew 8 now of the 12 games or whatever it is. And there's lies to a problem.
You've been the manager for over 1,000 games.
Yeah.
You know all about it. When you hear the home fans chanting, you don't know what you're doing. What do you say to that?
Well, listen, the only thing I can say to the supporters is I understand their frustration, because they haven't seen enough wins. As for I don't know what I'm doing, then for 25 years I've been doing it, and especially in this league, would like to think that I've got a decent record to stack that up.
West Brom fans, you will probably want to talk to Chris and Robbie later on. They follow the second half of Brighton against Tottenham, with Tottenham a goal to the good, and they are here now.
Thanks so much, Chappers. Steve Bruce under massive pressure. It's up to you. He'd still be managing Newcastle, Chris.
You're an idiot, aren't you? He is under pressure, isn't he? I think he said in the week if they didn't win today at home against Luton, then, who knows what might happen. We want to hear from West Brom fans, but he's not the only manager under pressure, is he?
Well, you look at Brendan Rodgers after that 2-1 defeat at Bournemouth. People write Bournemouth off all the time. You think that's unfair, but you did go for a Leicester 2-1 win in your predictions.
I did, and Bournemouth have surprised a few this season. We both had them down as relegation fodder, didn't we? But Scott Parker sort of talked them down. The manager at the start of the season. Should Gary O'Neill be given the Bournemouth job? He's done very well, hasn't he?
Ralph Hasenhüttl.
Yeah, rumours doing the rounds about Ralph's day of reckoning today if they lose to Manchester City. Slightly unfair. Where are Southampton fans with regards to Ralph? Should he stay or should he go?
And Man City, what a win that is. So listen, Chris, more to come. 08285 909 693. And let's hand back now to the second half. Brighton against Spurs. It's Alistair Bruce Ball.
Thank you, Robbie. Thank you, Chris. Looking forward to it. Lines open for 606. Tony, you can have a little listen. We can have a little listen on the way home. 08085 909 693 is the number to
I'll
call.
be just talking about golf. I won't be listening to any of that nonsense.
Don't let Chris Sutton know what happened on the golf course. Definitely don't do that. Definitely not. Right, second half's about to get underway. Tottenham are leading Brighton by a goal to nil. Doesn't look like either manager's made any changes at half-time. Harry Kane scored it midway through the first half. It was it initially came from a Tottenham corner that Son took, was cleared. Son then stayed in space on the right, got the ball onto his left foot, curled the cross into the near post. It was a really clever header from Kane to put Tottenham in front. Have a look at that on Match the Day tonight, 10:25 BBC One. Second half underway. Brighton in the blue and white stripes, white shorts and white socks, playing from right to left in the second half, and that's an excellent bit of ball control from Pascal Gross right at the start of the second half, because the pass was almost fired beyond him and he got his leg up high and stretched it out full and was able to bring the ball down, and a cross is coming in from the right hand side. Lloris calls, he gets a hand on it. The ball is loose in the Tottenham area. It's hacked away, but that was dangerous for a moment for Tottenham. Clever from Caicedo. Little header, backward header to find Estupinian. Fouled by Bentancur. Free kick for Brighton. They take it quickly and they win a throw wide on the left-hand side. First half was all action, and it started at a furious pace again, second half.
Yeah, even free kicks. They're just spotting it and playing.
Yep. So, when we do get a chance, I'll remind you the two-team lineups. But it was 4 changes for Tottenham today. Matt Doherty's right wing back, first start of the season. Bissouma in midfield, only a second Premier League start of the season for him. Sessegnon in for Perisic. Ben Davies back into the Tottenham back three. They're leading by a goal to nil. And Pascal Gross finds Alexis McAllister. Wide on the right is Gross, just short of the Tottenham area. Back to McAllister. Now Caicedo's in a bit of space there. Adam Webster gives him a shout. Plays it to his left. Estupinian crosses in. Ball hits Danny Welbeck. Trossard was hoping it might fall for a volley. It wouldn't come down in time. Doherty's there and he thumps it clear, throwing to Brighton on the halfway line.
Yeah, they've done well there. They've worked the space for the opposite centre half again, Alistair. And that's where the spare man is and where the space is.
Tottenham in this change kit that we mentioned in the first half, it's all sorts of colours really. The main body of the shirt is bright purple. There's high-vis yellow around the collars and the arms. It is a thing of beauty. Black shorts and bright yellow socks are the black tops, and their team is Lloris in goal, Romero, Dyer, Davis is the back three, Doherty, Sessegnon on the wing backs, Højbjerg, Bentancur and Bissouma in the midfield three. Son and Kane ahead of them. Son's been caught just short of the halfway line. Tottenham get the free kick. Harry Kane's on a yellow card, which he picked up quite early in the game. And Yves Bissouma's on a yellow card as well for Tottenham. Tottenham take their free kick. God, that wasn't the best pass out to Bentancur. Didn't do him many favours. Caicedo bundles into him. Bentancur has to foul him, and Brighton get a free kick. But it wasn't Bentancur's fault.
Remember what they used to say about an hospital pass?
Yeah,
that is a great example.
That was an awful one. Tottenham then, without the ball, have to start doing the closing down job again.
Use the space, opposite side of the pitch.
Yeah, Tony keeps saying it in the game this afternoon, and De Zerbi in front of us wants exactly the same thing, and Brighton have actually decided to go back the other way, wide to the right-hand side. Solly March cushions a little pass to Pascal Gross. March has it. He's going to take Sessegnon on the outside. Down to the byline he goes. Drags the ball back. Here's Gross. Curling ball to the far post. Doherty heads it away. It'll come out here to Caicedo. Plays it to his... Oh, McAllister can hit them from there, but he sliced it badly. Højbjerg on the edge of his own box, trying to use the pace of Son. Veltman was there, got a foot on the ball, but it's going to be booked for the challenge. I thought Veltman got a touch on the ball. He may have caught some of Son as well. Free kick to Tottenham. Veltman is absolutely furious with the decision, and we'll get another look on the replay monitor in front of us in just a second.
Well, it's on the far side, so like you say, you know, the referee's a lot closer than what we are.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what he's... Yeah. Let's have a look. Nah, he's missed the ball and caught the play, yeah. Good decision by Tony.
But he's saying he got the ball, Tony. I believe him. Am I not meant to? 4 minutes gone in the second half. Veltman in the book. So that's the first Brighton booking. Sanchez, their goalkeeper. Veltman, Dunk and Webster, their back three. March and Estupinian, the wing backs. McAllister and Caicedo in central midfield. Gross and Trossard either side of Danny Welbeck. Solly March went close in the first half, so did Danny Welbeck. Hugo Lloris was tested on a couple of occasions. Romero plays a ball here to Doherty, midway inside his own half, wide on the right, back to Romero, and back to the goalkeeper Lloris, who opens it up and sprays a pass to the left. Ben Davies, purposeful, confident pass into the feet of Højbjerg. Bentancur takes it off him. Højbjerg gets it back again. Chess pieces moving around the board here, and then this one goes steaming forward like a rook down the right-hand side. It was Bentancur looking for Son. Better first touch from Son. He's in there, Tony.
Yeah, he is. No, it was good play by Tottenham again. They were patient with it. And then when they had the space, they attacked the space. And like you say, it's a bad first touch from Son.
As good as Harry Kane is against Brighton, so that's 9 in 11. Son has not scored in 9 games against Brighton. That would have been an opportunity had the first touch been a bit better. Ben Davies heads it forward. Lines open for 606. I'll keep reminding you of the number in case you've not dialed it before. Chris and Robbie taking the calls through until 9 o'clock this evening. 08085 909 693. You can text them on 85058. Bentancur outside of his right foot.
Good touch.
Yeah, had to be a good touch because he was under pressure, but found Bissouma. Bissouma to Højbjerg. Højbjerg takes it up to the halfway line, then comes back. Bissouma driving forward at pace from midfield. Out to the left it goes to Sessegnon, who comes back into the Tottenham half, and Davis plays it across to Eric Dyer. So 5 minutes gone. Still Brighton 0, Tottenham 1. Bentancur in the inside right channel plays it to Romero. Romero back to Eric Dyer. Dyer up the line, intercepted easily by Estupinian. Caicedo forward to Trossard, tackled by Romero. Ball loops up in the air. Højbjerg heads it down to Ben Davies. Our lovely, sharp, piercing light blue skies have disappeared above us as we start to head in towards the evening. But I can see one of the plane trails in the sort of midnight blue sky above us now. It's got that lovely sort of orange glow to it because of the setting sun.
You got something to do, you got something on your mind with colours tonight.
Painting the pictures, Tony. Dyer comes back to Lloris inside his penalty area, under no pressure. Tottenham goalkeeper goes diagonal high to the right. Doherty leaps, wins the header, heads it infield, and McAllister is able to control it and play it back to Joel Veltman. So Tottenham are giving the ball back to their opponents. Played down the right here to Gross. March wanted that early, he didn't get it. Brighton are going to work this to the left. Adam Webster in his bright orange boots forward to Trossard. Romero comes hurtling in to try and win it back. Brighton keep it away from him, but they've lost it. Ben Davies.
Antonio will go berserk.
He is, Tony.
He'll go berserk because they've worked so hard to get the ball back, and then one person gives it away under no pressure whatsoever.
Højbjerg, that's clever. Nice ball to Sessegnon. Knew Sessegnon was there. He's got real speed, Sessegnon. So is this man, Son, on the left-hand side. Harry Kane making a run towards the far post. Has his hand up. Son still going. Ball at his feet inside the box, and then two defenders get to him and make the tackle. and Harry Kane receives so many good passes from his teammate. He doesn't get one there. God, Antonio Conte is going absolutely bananas.
Wow, Kane was in. If he'd have got his head up, I'd never touch and play Kane in, and then Kane's on at goal.
Trossard with a little shimmy to try and lose Romero. Felt he was fouled by Romero, actually stopped playing and waited for the referee to give him the decision. Romero wasn't having any of it and just kept going and hacking away at the ball. Veltman plays it to the right.
The ball?
Yeah, well, exactly, yeah. Trossard. 8 minutes gone. Second half. Tony Pulis with us here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Trossard wanted Webster to keep going there and pass the ball into space. Tottenham intercept, gobble it up. Here's Højbjerg. Kane's got his arm in the air. Højbjerg's seen the run this time. Now, can Kane get to that ball first? I'm not sure he can. Couple of bounces. Beyond the byline it goes. Goal kick.
Well, the
for
last
Brighton.
5 minutes have been the messiest this game has been. Both teams have given the ball away under no pressure whatsoever. And I think Antonio will be disappointed because they've had good opportunities to get a pass off. Once they get the pass off, then the spaces open up, and they've given it away too easily.
Antonio Conte is totally and utterly wrapped in this game now. You can see him moving up the left-hand touchline, talking to Matt Doherty as he loses out on the halfway line. Bentancur gets his body in the way. Brighton have enough players there to win it back. Here's Caicedo, side foots one to Gross. First time ball from him comes back to Joel Veltman. Back into midfield it goes. Caicedo is able to get his head up. The 20-year-old Ecuadorian plays the ball out to the left-hand side.
He's done well, hasn't he, tonight?
Yeah, he's good, isn't he, Tony? Yeah, I think he's impressed a lot of people this season. We're going to be seeing him, of course, at the World Cup this summer, playing for Ecuador. They're in the Group A, along with the host Qatar, Senegal and the Netherlands. Brighton now having a go down the right with Veltman. Plays it out to Solly March. March up against Sessegnon, brings him infield this time, across to McAllister, onto Caicedo. Webster's making the run forward like he's done before. Webster's encouraged to hit it, and it's a block from Romero, who comes rushing out and stays down because he seems to have caught one where it can be particularly painful. So he's going to take a little while to recover. It was a good block, brave defending. It's gone behind for a corner to Brighton, and it's Brighton 0, Tottenham 1. Tottenham still leading through the Harry Kane goal. Tomorrow on 5 Live, 5 Live's Premier League Sunday, on air from 12, back-to-back Premier League commentaries. West Ham Fulham at 2, and then Arsenal Liverpool at 4:30. Another 6:06 tomorrow night, and there'll be updates on Everton Manchester United into that show. That one kicks off at 7 tomorrow. Corner comes in from the left to the far post. Webster heads it back across goal, and Welbeck very nearly got something on the end of that. Højbjerg is able to clear the bouncing ball, and it's out for a throw-in to Brighton on the left. And De Zerbi throws it at Solly March, who wasn't looking, and it hits him in the face. Thanks very much, boss. Estepinian, nice ball. Gross, clever layoff.
Great
to
touch.
March. First time cross on the half volley, no one there at the far post. Welbeck had made a run into the middle of the box, and Sessegnon is able to bring it away. Gives real energy, Sessegnon, down that left-hand side for Tottenham. And Tottenham come back into their penalty area. 11 minutes gone in the second half. Brighton 0, Tottenham 1. Tottenham with the win would go a point behind Arsenal, ahead of Arsenal's game against Liverpool tomorrow, which you can hear in full on 5 Live. And Champions League commentaries next week. AC Milan against Chelsea. We're in Milan for that one on Tuesday night. Good win for Chelsea today at home against Wolves. And we're at Ibrox. Kelly Cates and the team at Ibrox on Wednesday for Rangers against Liverpool.
Yeah, Antonio's going mad again, and you know they've had good possession to play forward, and they've done it most of the game, and all of a sudden now they've started playing backwards and sideways, and they've really given the initiative the last couple of minutes to Brighton.
Bit scrappy and scruffy at the moment. Adam Lallana, I can just see, is jogging back into the tunnel, so I wonder whether we might see a bit of Adam Lallana coming. Do you think, Tony?
Yeah, I think they need someone like Adam to open the door.
12 minutes gone, second half. Tottenham just trying to keep the ball for a bit under the watchful eye of their pacing manager Antonio Conte. Very emotional at the head of the game during the minute's applause for his friend and Tottenham's fitness coach Gianpiero Ventrone, who died in the week. I wouldn't be surprised if Antonio Conte is very emotional after the game as well. All he's got his mind on, his eyes on at the moment is this football match. And here he sees Tottenham coming up the right hand side with Doherty. Back to Højbjerg. Højbjerg under pressure from Caicedo, gets away from him. Caicedo tried to foul him. Højbjerg keeps going. Back to Dyer, inside the Tottenham half. De Zerbi this time is the Italian manager who's frustrated and unzips the pockets of his hoodie and shoves his hands into the bottom of them. Lewis Dunk across to make an interception, plays the ball back to his goalkeeper. Robert Sanchez, high spinning clearance, nodded down by Bissouma. Football's not as good, Tony, in the second half, is it? It's just not as sharp, not as slick. 13 minutes gone, second half. Lloris drives it forward. Webster, good aggressive header to beat Romero in the air. Here's Højbjerg, chased by Welbeck. Welbeck tries to come around the back of him, fouls him. That is a free kick for Tottenham. Welbeck's hurt, Højbjerg's hurt. Højbjerg then finds the ball behind his head and he uses it as a pillow just to give himself a rest, which is how I felt on about the 10th.
Yeah, they've got to be
afternoon.
careful, Tottenham. I think they've played well first half by playing forward and running forward and being positive. What they don't want to do is just slip back and let Brighton control the game, because Brighton will create opportunities and chances if they do that. Well, they'll do it anyway, but they'll create more if Tottenham do that.
Who's going to make the next decisive move in the game? Let's see. Brighton 0, Tottenham 1. 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Ball back with Romero. It's a bit of a no-look pass from Romero, like that. Foul by Estepinian. Højbjerg is frustrated there because Estepinian's all over him. Højbjerg was able to get the pass away, but it did slow things. Great ball from Ben Davies to Sessegnon. Son's going to attack it, but Dunk slides in and does a brilliant job for Brighton
offside
to clear it, and it wouldn't have counted. Linesman puts flag up immediately there because he's offside. But quite often, Tony, they'll let that go, just in case the ball ends up in the back of the net. And they're not sure, but that time our assistant referee made a positive, quick decision. Dyer in the centre circle takes it off Welbeck. Bissouma plays it to the goal scorer Kane. Kane in these bright yellow Tottenham socks draws Veltman out to the left with him. Veltman makes the tackle, and it's a throw in for Tottenham on the left hand side. Tottenham at home to Frankfurt in the week in the Champions League. Take the throw down the left.
There's a hell of a lot of fixtures to come before the World Cup.
There are, they're desperately trying to fit everything in this season, aren't they? Bissouma to Sessegnon. That's a nice ball into Son. Can't find a teammate. Caicedo intercepts. Caicedo looking for Welbeck. Dyer gets a foot on it, gets a bit lucky. Ball comes off him, runs to Romero. Now Bissouma onto it for Tottenham. That's a nice pass to find Harry Kane. Son away through the middle. Can Kane find him? Dunk slides in and makes contact with the ball. Son knows it as well. Thumps his feet in frustration because he was very nearly in behind the Brighton defence. Great defending from Lewis Dunk.
Yeah, it's a great counter-attacking again. 2 passes. Like I say, they play forward. Kane was a great pass, but good defended by Dunk. Very, very good defended by Dunk.
Very definition of last-ditch defending. Threw himself, got the ball, knocked it into Son's shins, and behind it went for the goal kick, which Brighton have taken. 16 minutes gone, second half. Lines open for 606 already. 08085 909 693 to have your say on the nation's favourite football phone-in. Kane on the turn. Brilliant from Kane. He's driven it wide. I was sure he was going to score. The turn was fabulous. He got himself 12 yards from goal, and you knew he was going to try and put it in that bottom corner. He's hooked it wide of the post.
You watch.
Can't believe it.
People will watch this on Match of the Day tonight, and they won't believe it either.
He turns Lewis Dunk quite brilliantly, uses his thigh to control the ball, tees himself up for a second of the game, and shoots wide. Brighton have taken the goal kick. Eric Dyer's won a header, and it's straight back in the arms of Robert Sanchez.
He's pushing him up. He doesn't want to throw it out, but he does throw it out.
Yeah, to Caicedo, who's immediately under pressure from Bissouma. Pass across to McAllister, closed down by Bentancur. Then Son continues with the press, but Brighton play it up the right-hand side. Solly March trying to hold off Sessegnon. Tottenham have won it back. Bentancur looks for Kane, not the best pass. Intercepted. Brighton have it on the right, but it's gone out of play for a Tottenham throw over on their left, midway inside the Brighton half. And Antonio Conte's now got the palms out and is pointing them down as if to say, just calm it down. We've got the lead. Let's not do anything silly here. Lloris plays a short one to Romero inside his own penalty area.
What, like that?
Like that. And Pascal Gross very nearly took it off him. Sessegnon, tries to head the ball in field. He'd already gone out for a Brighton throw.
It doesn't make sense to me, but both teams were playing up and playing forward first half and looked really dangerous.
McAllister to Welbeck. Edge of the penalty area, back to goal, lays it off. Classic centre-forward play to find Estupinian. He's got Matt Doherty in front of him, decides not to take him on, plays back to Webster. Webster across to McAllister. McAllister curls a pass across the pitch. It bounces 2 or 3 times and then reaches Solly March. March onto his left foot, looks for McAllister, trying for the 1-2. March stretches. Sessegnon, good defending, just stayed with him. And March isn't able to control it, and Lloris just flops gently onto the ball.
Yeah, the best opportunities and the best chances have been Tottenham giving it away in their final third and Brighton giving it away in their final third. And they weren't doing that first half. They were playing much more positive. There's going to be a couple of changes now, I think, for Brighton.
Roberto De Zerbi is looking at bringing Kaoru Mitoma on, who I've not seen play live yet this season. Second season at the club. Last season he spent away on loan. Pat Nevin talks in very excited tones about what he can do with the football at his feet. So let's see what the Japanese can do when he gets on. Brighton getting ready to make the change. Still Brighton 0, Tottenham 1. And we're past the hour mark in the game now. 18 minutes played in the second half. Japanese Grand Prix on air from 5:45 on 5 Live tomorrow. Over on Sports Extra, similar time. Women's Rugby World Cup is underway. Should be a good one to listen to. Wales against Scotland. England with the mammoth win this morning, beating Fiji by 84 points to 19. Antonio Conte cannot believe what he's seeing from his Tottenham team. Eric Dyer's just smashed it straight for a throw.
The game's gone really, really sloppy.
Yeah. Yep, I agree. Brighton have it. Dunk on the edge of his own box. Webster plays a 1-2 with Caicedo. Back to Dunk. He's put under a bit of pressure. Son chases him across the Brighton penalty area. Dunk clears with his right foot. Sessegnon is behind Solly March. Takes 2 headers to win the ball. But Solly March gets behind him. The ball is played up to March. Poor pass infield from him. Basuma is there to intercept. And Mitoma is now waiting on the side of the pitch. Next time the ball goes out of play, he's going to be thrown into the action. He was on loan to Union Saint-Gilloise in Belgium last season, getting final instructions from the Brighton coaching staff. They need to find a goal. They're 1-0 down. Only lost 1 game in the Premier League so far this season. Trossard lays the ball back to McAllister. Pacey pass straight up the middle to Welbeck. Welbeck holds off Dyer. Forward ball into the feet of Trossard. Trossard tries a little back heel. Doesn't fall to a teammate. Tottenham look to play out. Sessegnon half tackled by Caicedo. Veltman chips the ball out to the right. Finds Caicedo again. Brighton have got numbers out there. This is Pascal Gross on the ball.
This is where Tottenham need leaders, you know, on the pitch. Not Antonio going mad on the sidelines, but they've got to liven up a little bit. They've become very, very sloppy.
Estupinian's going to try and take on Doherty on the outside. Doherty does enough to hold him off, so he has to come back to Webster. McAllister in shooting range now. Dinks one over the top. It's beyond Estupinian. Doherty had it covered, and behind it goes for the goal kick. So, left wing back, Pervis Estupinian comes off, and the Japanese international Kaoru Mitoma comes on. 25 years old, as I said, second season at the club, and has got some lovely skills. So De Zerbi's going to try and change things up. He's having a little word with his playmaker Trossard, but both teams need to try and get back into that first half rhythm. We've still got Tottenham leading here by 1-0. Goal kick for Tottenham, which Hugo Lloris is getting ready to take. Thought about going short and then saw those blue and white shirts hovering around the edge of the penalty area and decided against it. So Lloris takes a run at the ball. The French captain clears with his left foot up to the halfway line. First header won by Brighton, volleyed forward by Basuma. Son heads it back into his own half. Harry Kane is the one to control that and play a lovely ball forward to Højbjerg. Sessegnon, loads of space on the left-hand side. Son and Kane in the middle. Højbjerg making ground as well. Cross comes in from Sessegnon. That is beyond everyone and goes behind for a goal kick.
That's
and Antonio
poor.
Conte again, look at
That's
him.
That's poor. He's got, I'm not surprised he's disappointed. You know, these are top Premier League players. He's got all the time in the world. He's on his left side, brings it back on his right foot, which is not his strong foot, and then crosses it.
Yeah. Antonio Conte turned towards us and was bellowing, screaming in frustration. We've seen it 4 or 5 times in this second half. We're right at the midway point of the second half. Still Brighton 0, Tottenham 1, with 6:06 to follow on 5 Live and BBC Sounds this evening. Now space here for Pascal Gross to try and do something for Brighton. Brings it forward 10 yards. Down the inside left channel it goes to Welbeck. Welbeck gets his head up. Wide on the left. Mover slowed down slightly. Back he comes to McAllister outside of his right foot. Tries a hopeful one. Sessegnon clears it first time. Veltman heads it forward. Nice little knockdown here to Caicedo. Brighton fans wanted him to shoot. Trossard thinks about it on the turn. Didn't quite fall for him. Plays it back to McAllister. Here's Mitoma. Let's see what he can do. Onto his right foot. Hits that shot. Well blocked by Doherty. Arms behind his back.
Antonio's got to liven this up. He's got to start making a couple of subs.
Yeah.
He's got to start livening it up.
Tottenham under pressure. Tottenham going to make a change. Richarlison's
They've got to do something.
Yeah. Left out the starting lineup this evening. Richarlison, but getting ready to come on for Tottenham. Here's McAllister on the ball for Brighton. Strokes a lovely pass to Gross. His ball is behind Welbeck, cleared by Romero. Son can't control it. Dunk misses it. Lots of mistakes in the second half. Brighton have it again. Here's Mitoma, who wears number 22 for Brighton. Wants a run from Trossard. Goes himself. Oh, good run. Keeps his balance. Still going, Mitoma. Down to the byline. Lloris comes out, makes a brilliant block. Just ran away from Mitoma, and Lloris threw himself to block that cross that was coming back across the Tottenham 6-yard box. Now Dunk has played a ball back to Sanchez, and he's under pressure from Son. Chests it down and slices the bouncing ball with his left foot and out for a throw-in. Look at Antonio Conte. He cannot make this substitution quickly enough, Tony. Get on there.
I think he needs to make more than one. It looks, there's some tired players out there, some tired legs.
Richarlison has started the last 6 games ahead of this one. Yet to score in the Premier League for Tottenham, actually. Those couple of goals that won the game against Marseille in the Champions League. Getting the instructions now. That is a left arm that is absolutely draped in tattoos as well for Richarlison.
His socks rolled up as well.
Socks over the knees, so yeah, exactly. So they blend straight into the black shorts. Doherty wins a strong 50-50. Plays back to Romero. Doherty wins another throw-in for Tottenham on the right. We've got 20 minutes just over to play. Brighton 0, Tottenham 1. Both of these teams won at each other's stadiums last season, so Tottenham did win here in March by 2-0. Harry Kane scored in that game. Brighton went to Tottenham.
He'll change it now. I think he'll go with
Bissouma off, Richarlison on.
I think Son will go wide on the left, Richarlison wide on the right, and he'll go 5-4-1 now instead of 5-3-2, and just try and tighten it up in midfield.
A few boos for Yves Bissouma as he left the field. 4 seasons with Brighton, having joined from Lille. Had put in some sterling performances for them, of course, but that's the way it goes in football. If you change allegiance, Son takes a bit of a whack in the face there from Caicedo. He was trying to control a bouncing ball. It wasn't a deliberate whack in the face, but he was caught, and that'll be a free kick for Tottenham. It's been really scrappy second half.
Yeah.
Compared to the first half, football was great from both teams. Now, what are we doing here? Son's won the free kick. He's holding his jaw as if he's been slugged by a heavyweight boxer, and he's sort of...
Let's have a look.
His foot was... I mean, he was caught. Free kick.
Don't get me involved in it.
Tony Pulis here with us at the Amex. Brighton 0, Tottenham 1. Can Tottenham put a smile on Antonio Conte's face with a second goal? Let's see. Son holds his left arm in the air. Right-footed ball whipped in. Flicked header from Kane. Good header wide. It was a long-range header because he was on the edge of the box, but Sanchez was worried enough to throw himself just to make sure it didn't go in.
Yeah, good effort. It was difficult. He's outside the near post, and the ball nearly goes it. It's way wide.
Yeah, it's a floated. He knew exactly what connection that needed and got the right connection. Just couldn't quite find the far corner. So still 1-0 Tottenham. 08085 909 693 to get your calls in for 606 this evening with Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton. Football Daily podcast. If you missed any of Sports Report this evening, that'll be there for you later on. Available via the Sounds app. Ball at Richarlison's feet. Son is wide on the left-hand side. Son dummies the cross initially with his right foot. Sessegnon makes the decoy run down the left. He plays back to Bentancur to Son. Here's Bentancur. Son making a run in behind, but he couldn't find him. So Brighton are able to try and bring it away down the right. And Gross is hobbling away, was caught in a challenge, but Brighton do have the throw, which they take and throw back to Joel Veltman. Here's Alexis McAllister. McAllister to Trossard unusually lets the ball get away from him under his left boot. Doherty to Højbjerg. First time ball comes back to Eric Dyer. There's, the quality second half's not been great, but the tension is there because there's just a goal in it. And I think particularly for Tottenham, having lost last weekend against Arsenal, drawn against Frankfurt midweek, they've given the ball away here. It was Richarlison this time who lost it. Caicedo to Danny Welbeck. Welbeck edge of the box looking for the run of Trossard, intercepted by Romero. Still got work to do and does it and finds Doherty. And Doherty goes down the right looking for Richarlison, but the pass is beyond him and Webster comes back to his goalkeeper Robert Sanchez.
Yeah, I think Son has gone to the left hand side, Alistair, and then
came through the middle and Richarlison.
Yeah.
So Son and Richarlison sort of in support.
Yeah, they're playing almost like a 2-2 now.
Yes, yeah. Davis back to Dyer.
Now they got the two holding midfield players.
Yeah. Højbjerg and Bentancur.
They'll sit there
and keep it solid for Antonio Conte as Dyer goes over the top. Now Son offside here. He's trapped it well with his left foot. This time the flag stays down. Son! Offside. What a finish! Now the flag goes up.
I don't know why. It's ridiculous.
What
really.
A finish, by the way.
Oh, it's a great finish. But honestly, he's offside by about 5 yards.
I think the whole stadium knew it. VAR will check it. Ball is... I wouldn't say 5 yards, Tony.
3.
They'll have a look. I mean, you're right. Yeah, miles offside. What a finish. But the other thing as well is you're almost commentating on that. You know it's not going to count, but he hit it wonderfully well.
So if you look at the shape of the team now, Kane's up there by himself, and then they've got the 2 and the 2.
Yes.
Yeah. So they'll keep the 2 central midfield players now closer to the 3 centre halves.
Yeah.
I'll let Son and Richarlison work the wide players or the wide situation.
Antonio Conte will not be averse to a 1-0 victory. Defending to do. Caicedo to Webster, not a good ball. Romero is able to win it for Tottenham. Now this is where Tottenham can be very dangerous on the break. Kane on the ball. Son to his left. Richarlison in space on the right. Højbjerg is forward as well. Son's found Højbjerg. Højbjerg inside the Brighton box. Ball at his feet, tackled, but Højbjerg is able to scamper back and keep possession for Tottenham. Doherty's in a load of space on the right-hand side.
Yeah, but I think first half you would have seen both Sessegnon and Doherty already up there. They weren't there. I know they broke quickly, but they weren't there. They weren't breaking their necks to get in those positions.
Brighton 0, Tottenham 1. That's the voice of Tony Pulis on BBC Radio 5 Live this evening. Under the lights at the Amex. Brighton 0, Tottenham 1. Romero. Back to Bentancur. Dyer's aware that Danny Welbeck is closing in. Dyer plays back here to Hugo Lloris. Lloris across to Ben Davis. Davis, low pass up the inside left channel. Son tries to turns into trouble. McAllister wins it, does a little turn of his own. Brings it forward for Brighton, then tries to play a ball to Gross on the right. It's intercepted, but McAllister is able to collect it again. Plays it to Mitoma. Mitoma fancies a run at Doherty. Low pass to Trossard. Trossard dummies a shot, then hits a shot. That's blocked. And the ball will go out for a throw into Brighton on the left. Lines open for 6:06. 08 085 909 693. Premier League scorelines today. Manchester City, top of the table. 2 points ahead of Arsenal, beat Southampton 4-0. Thumping win for Newcastle, beat Brentford 5-1. Chelsea, 7 changes today. But they beat Wolves by 3-0. Bournemouth 2, Leicester 1. And here it's Brighton 0. Tottenham 1. All the other stories, of course, to react to up and down the leagues today. Chris Sutton and Robbie Savage will be taking your calls. Brighton still trying to play through the Tottenham ranks at the moment. Welbeck chests it down. Trossard on the turn. Back to McAllister. McAllister to Caicedo, who's right on his shoulder. Played out to Gross on the right. Just the one change made by Roberto De Zerbi so far in terms of substitutions. Mitoma's come on wide on the left-hand side. Veltman plays back here to Lewis Dunk. Every single outfield player inside the Tottenham half. Wide on the right for Brighton. Solly March darts infield, still going. Good dribbling, but no. Eventually loses it to Sessegnon, complains he was fouled. Oh, Tottenham have given it away. Welbeck into the box, hits the shot low and he's pulled it. And it's wide and it's a goal kick. And Antonio Conte, how many times have I said it, is going berserk at his Tottenham players. But you don't blame him, Tony.
No, not
They're
at all.
giving it away, aren't they? And it's going to cost them.
They've just got caught. They've not kept the ball. You know, I'm a great fan of Son.
Yeah.
But he hasn't done as well tonight as I've seen him before in respect of retaining possession.
Yeah.
You know, he just hasn't. He hasn't been with it for me.
Antonio Conte is going to turn to a trusted lieutenant in Ivan Perisic. Perisic will come on for Tottenham. And Antonio Conte was straight to him and telling him exactly what needs to be done. 12 minutes to play. Then it's 6:06 on 5 Live and BBC Sounds tonight. And 2 more Premier League commentaries coming your way tomorrow. West Ham Fulham at 2 on 5 Live. Arsenal Liverpool at 4:30. Kane sniffing an opportunity, trying to close the ball, which is passed back to Robert Sanchez. Brighton pass it out brilliantly from the back, and now it goes long. Solly March is trying to get away from Ryan Sessegnon. Sessegnon does well.
He's done well today, Sessegnon at times.
And Tottenham have it with Romero forward to Richarlison. Richarlison is able to turn inside his own half. Good link up with Kane. Kane then turns, tries to shrug off McAllister. McAllister too strong for him and wins the ball off him. Dunk brings it forward, plays it to Mitoma. Mitoma is running away from Bentancur. Bentancur is able to catch him and knocks the ball out of play for a Brighton throw. Brighton 0, Tottenham 1. Son's off. Son is coming off for Tottenham. Curled that wonderful strike into the top corner but didn't count because he was offside. Perisic comes on.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
You know, I do like Son. I think he's a top player.
Yeah.
And he did some really good things first half, but he's looked tired second half.
Other stuff to react to on 6:06 tonight. In the Championship, the top 2 both lost today. Sheffield United away at Tony's former club Stoke. Rory Delap's lad scored.
Yeah,
Tony
brilliant.
Liam scored, didn't he? Yeah.
Once he starts scoring, I think he'll score a bundle of goals.
Norwich lost at home to Preston, so 3 clubs are all on 24 points at the top now. Sheffield United, Norwich and QPR. Coventry City remain at the foot of the table. They lost 1-0 at home to Burnley. Plymouth, another one of yours, Tony.
Yeah.
7th straight home victory today. Stay
Brilliant.
top. And my lot Ipswich a point behind in second, having lost to Plymouth the other day. So I don't want to hear any more about that. Just over 10 minutes to play. Still Brighton 0, Tottenham 1. Sanchez, Brighton's keeper, smashes it downfield. Dyer heads it away. It's just got away from Danny Welbeck. And Bentancur's in, but the free kick actually goes to Tottenham for a handball. Stevenage new leaders of League 2, 2 points clear of second place, Leyton Orient. Late winner for Celtic, really late winner. I think it was Giakoumakis who scored it. They beat St Johnstone, they stay top, and Rangers, who of course will host Liverpool in the Champions League on Wednesday, which will be a 5 Live commentary, they beat St Mirren by 4-0. And as I heard Mark Chapman saying in the National League, if you were at this game, actually, give Chris and Robbie a call. I'm sure Robbie in particular would love to hear from you. Wrexham 7, Barnet 5 in the National League today. Adam Lallana's getting ready to come on. 10 minutes to go. Still Brighton 0, Tottenham 1.
Was that a try and a conversion?
Exactly. Dunk on the ball for Brighton. Lots of bits of paper getting in the way now after all those scores and details and results and the like. Trossard, first time ball back to Sanchez. McAllister under pressure. Højbjerg gets a foot on it, could have gone anywhere, goes behind for a goal kick. So Lallana's going to come on for a little bit of quality for Brighton, Tony. He's as you said, he's a wonderful player to watch, isn't he, Lallana?
Top player.
Touches and flicks and vision and...
He's a great lad as well.
Yeah.
We know him. My daughter went to school, same school with Adam. And the family as well, lovely family.
Great
lovely
career
family.
he has had now, 34 years old. 3rd season now at Brighton. Takes his place in the middle of the Brighton midfield. Still just a goal in it. So quality's not been great second half, but tension is there. Dyer heads it up in the air. 50-50 with Welbeck. The ball bounces. Dyer's strong. Heads it away from Welbeck. Bentancur leaps. Can't get a foot on it. Mitoma's pushed over. Free kick for Brighton.
Oh, he doesn't go and head that. Why's he going to put his foot up in the air when he can go and head it?
Think of how Antonio Conte is going to react if Brighton get an equaliser. The way this second half has gone, because he's bubbling away. down there on the touchline. Mitoma plays it back to Caicedo. Bentancur tries to put him under pressure. McAllister through to Lallana. First touch of his, sure-footed.
Antonio's playing every pass here. Every move, every pass. He's moving up and down the touchline.
8 minutes
in unison with where the team's going.
Perisic wins it for Tottenham. Bentancur straight up the middle of the pitch to Kane. Tottenham will fancy they could get one on the counter. Dunk tries to foul Kane, isn't able to do it. Forward to Højbjerg, looking for the little back heel to his left-hand side. Perisic is able to collect that ball, drives a shot with his left. Richarlison very close to sliding in at the far post and converting it. It flashes beyond him and goes behind for a goal kick.
They've had 3 or 4 breaks the second half, never mind how sloppy they've been, where on other occasions with a little bit more quality they could have scored the second goal.
That's how they love it, don't they, Tony? Tottenham, they get themselves in front, other team has to come, and then when those spaces, like you say, they're so good at that, but they've just not clinically finished it off today. And Brighton will still fancy they could get something here. Trailing Tottenham 1-0. Caicedo towards Mitoma. Ball's played out to the left to Solly March, fouled by Bentancur. March wants to take it quickly, does so. Oh, blimey, Romero's in hard there on Caicedo. Free kick for Brighton. And he's hobbling away from that.
He's okay.
Yeah, I knew you'd say that. And Webster. Webster plays the ball across the Dunk. Alexis McAllister, the Argentine. Right-footed ball to the left, finds March. Mitoma started to make a run. Doherty had it covered, so he comes back to Caicedo inside the Tottenham half. Good 50 yards from goal though, and working it across to the right. Lewis Dunk brings it forward. Low ball out to Trossard now, wide on the right hand side for Brighton. McAllister in the central position, 40 yards out to Caicedo. Towards Mitoma, lovely little flick to Lallana, step over, tries to flick it back to Mitoma, gets it to him, another back heel, and Tottenham have had enough of that, and it's thumped out of play by Højbjerg for a throw into Brighton, and they take that very quickly. March to Lallana, and this time his first time ball doesn't find Mitoma, and that's a throw into Tottenham.
Romero needs a kick up the backside there. He's allowed the lad to come off him on the edge of the box. He looks tired actually, but you know, this is when you've got to dig in. This is character, this is all what makes you and turns your team into being a winning team.
5.5 minutes.
They've really got to dig in, Tottenham. Yeah. Brighton are pushing and pushing and pushing. I say that then, and Webster kicks it out.
Yeah, tired from Webster as well. Tried to play a ball forward with his left foot and completely sliced it. Saw a few of those today as well. Tony earlier on, didn't we? Yeah. I struggled front 9. 5 minutes to go. Brighton 0, Tottenham 1. Chris and Robbie ready to go. They'll be sitting in the studio drumming their fingers on the table waiting for those calls to come in. 08085 909 693. Lallana bringing it forward for Brighton, finds Welbeck. Welbeck's got Tottenham on the back foot. Did he get caught on the edge of the box? No free kick. Mitoma's going to chase the ball to the left and it goes behind for a Tottenham goal kick, so Tottenham survive again.
I don't think he was caught, do you?
No, I don't. We'll have a look, Tony, on the replay. I think Welbeck knows it as well. He's not really appealing for a free kick. Brighton want to make another change late in the game. Fans are booing and whistling because they feel that Hugo Lloris is taking too long over the restart of the game. You can see actually Roberto De Zerbi, who's obviously working on his English, quite a lot of times there's had to be a bit of sort of a message from him. It goes via someone. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Kind of an interpreter to help him try and get the message across. That will clearly improve as time goes on. Yeah,
that will come.
Yeah. 4 minutes to go. Brighton 0, Tottenham 1. Antonio Conte definitely getting his message across. Billy Gilmore's coming on. Tarek Lamptey's coming on. Now those are two exciting changes. Not much time to have an impact in the game. Two little fellas actually, but they pack a big punch.
I haven't seen a lot of Gilmore, but Lamptey has got that pace.
What a touch from Lallana. Yeah. Strokes the ball to Mitoma. Mitoma drops the shoulder onto his right foot, plays it back to McAllister, can hit them from here, goes for a low pass through the middle, the ball bounces back off Højbjerg to McAllister. Now was a run being made down the right there, wasn't used. Dunk. McAllister's popped into space again just outside the Tottenham area. Lallana lays it off to him. That's what Lallana's doing, just getting into those gaps and trying to feed those balls through. McAllister to Lallana on the turn, lovely skill to Trossard, good sliding challenge from Doherty. keeps the danger away. Richarlison trying to dribble out from the back, might lose that. He has. March plays it to Welbeck. Welbeck stretches and pokes it back to Lewis Dunk. 3 minutes to play. Still Brighton 0, Tottenham 1. Welbeck to Lallana, looking for the flick round the corner to Trossard. Trossard onto it, plays it to Mitoma. Mitoma lays it back. Trossard turns, so many Tottenham players in the way, and Harry Kane is there, gets a foot in the way, and McAllister went for the ball. He kicks Harry Kane, and that will be a free kick for Tottenham.
Harry Kane on the edge of his box, saving the day. You know, Antonio loved that, mind. But Brighton have been very, very good the last 5-10 minutes. Lallana's come on. They found him in those little pockets.
Yeah.
And he just sees things other people don't see. His touch and his movement is just absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. The intricacy of the build-up play there from Brighton was absolutely fantastic. Now, Harry Kane is in some pain, and I'm not surprised, because McAllister thought the ball was there and was having a swing at it, and then Kane suddenly nipped in from behind him. But the impact of the attempt he was trying to make to hit the ball has caught Kane on the full, and he's struggling. He is struggling at the moment, receiving medical attention. Lamptey comes on, Veltman comes off, Gilmour comes on, Caicedo comes off, and we're in the 89th minute of the game, but we've got a bit of added time on the way. So, Manchester City 4, Southampton 0, Newcastle 5, Brentford 1, Chelsea 3, Wolves 0, Bournemouth 2, Leicester 1. The 4 results in the Premier League in the 3 o'clock kickoffs this afternoon. And this at the moment is Brighton 0, Tottenham 1. Harry Kane still receiving treatment. He's down. A member of the medical staff is getting some strapping. It looks, I know, spray. Oh, it's the old magic spray on the ankle. And I think he's going to be okay. And Harry Kane's got a little sort of rectangular carton of water in his hand as well. Oh, he did take a whack on the heel though, didn't he?
He's all right.
Yeah, he's
okay. Goodness.
Free kick for Tottenham. Free kick. No, yeah. I know what you're saying.
Yeah, it's caught him, but he's okay.
Match of the day tonight, 10:25. BBC One will be home in time for that. Oliver Skipp is coming on here. Second substitute appearance of the season, and actually Harry Kane's going to come off. Where is Kane? Oh, there he is. Right, yeah. So he's already jogging down the touchline. He's done. So not going to take any risks with the star man. Still hobbling away, and it could well be Kane's goal that wins the game. His goal, 22nd minute, angled header from the Son cross. Brighton 0, Tottenham 1. Lloris takes the free kick, 90th minute of the game, flicked on by Bentancur. Richarlison can't get there. McAllister chased by Richarlison inside his own half, plays it to Trossard. Trossard gliding across the turf, plays the ball to his left to March, looking for Mitoma. That was never going to get there. Doherty intercepts. Skipp is in there to try and close the game off for Tottenham in central midfield. Tottenham are giving it away. Here's little Billy Gilmour, number 27 on his back for Brighton. Pass back to Dunk. 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Still time. Tony Pulis here with us at the Amex Stadium. 5 Live and BBC Sounds. 6:06 on the way. And Brighton pushing for an equaliser. Webster.
They go try and find Lallana.
Oh, that's good. March to Mitoma. Mitoma into the penalty area, swerving and sliding. Lost his foot. That's a foul. Outside the penalty area. Crazy challenge from Romero. Mitoma's going out towards the touchline.
Romero, he's another one I would have looked to have taken off, because he looks absolutely dead on his feet.
Just shoved him in the back there.
Even trying to get back in the box. You know, he's a centre half.
This is interesting.
They're just going to hang this up.
Yeah,
Tottenham can't allow them to have a run at it.
I'm keeping an eye on Antonio Conte. I tell you, if this goes in. Added time, free kick from the left, curled in by Solly March. Dyer heads it away, falls to the man Brighton want it to fall to. Trossard on the right, that's a good ball in. Sessegnon heads this one away. Clears everyone. Brighton player down, and that looks like it might be a head knock in the box, so that will be a delay here. Lewis Dunk must have thrown himself at it, and yeah, that's going to take a bit of time to check, and that's an important.
That's taking the steam out of the game.
Yeah. So 6:06, they're waiting. Chris and Robbie, 08085 909 693. They're taking the calls through until 9 o'clock this evening as we bring you the closing minutes of Brighton against Tottenham. Brighton 0, Tottenham 1. What have you spotted? Oh, Antonio Conte. Veins bulging in his neck as he's screaming.
He's telling him to push up on on the lad who's just been brought on.
Yeah. Got to keep an eye on him on the full-time whistle as well. 3 minutes to go. I think there'll be a little bit more than that. Long clearance downfield from Lloris. Oliver skip. Little cushioned header finds Højbjerg. Højbjerg looking for Perisic. Perisic and Lamptey will chase. Lamptey should have the pace to get there. Lamptey wins the ball. He's fouled by Perisic. So that's a free kick for Brighton, but it's deep in their own territory in the right back position.
He's going mad because they're dropping off.
Yeah. Antonio Conte wants to be wearing every single Tottenham shirt and playing in every single position. He's worried here as Brighton bring it forward. Billy Gilmour from deep. Goes out to Lamptey on the right. Back to Gilmour, under pressure inside his own half. Wide to Lamptey. Lamptey's going to try and use that pace to get away down the right. 2 strong challenges on him. Perisic couldn't get him. Sessegnon did.
They lined him up.
Yeah, they did, didn't they? They do not want him getting away down the right because he is lightning, is Tariq Lamptey. 2 minutes to go. Lallana in the centre circle. Lays it off to McAllister. Cross to Gilmour. Gilmour wide to Lamptey. Lamptey up against Sessegnon.
It's only going one place, this.
A couple of step overs. Back it comes to Gilmour. Gilmour to Lallana, first time ball. Volleyed away by Ben Davis. Richarlison chasing. Lewis Dunk just inside his own half. Hoofs it forward. Sessegnon heads it away. Back into the Brighton half it goes. Dunk is tumbling over Richarlison, but the decision goes Dunk's way because apparently Richarlison was doing the pulling and the tugging to bring Dunk down. Tottenham bench are up in arms. They come flying up to the edge of the pitch. Graham Scott, the fourth official, waves them away. Matoma tries to get away from Doherty. Lallana on the turn, edge of the box, finds Trossard. Trossard with a little scoop ball, looking for Welbeck. No one's there for Brighton. Lloris is there for Tottenham. Throws himself at it and then curls up in a ball and hides the ball between his gloves.
What would his heart rate be like?
Oh,
now?
Tony. Well, you know what it's like, don't you, when your team's doing this to you?
I was much more relaxed than that.
You've been there so many times. Minute to go, and I think just a little bit more as well, and it looks like Tottenham might get another to win it here because Brighton have given it away. Now, can Tottenham be clinical? Brighton have enough players back. Ball's on the left edge of the box.
They'll just try and keep it up there.
Okay, yeah. Højbjerg's going to take it down to the corner flag. Chased by Dunk. Plays it back down the line. Wins the throw for Tottenham, and they might now be able to see the game out. Throwing on the left, which Sessegnon gets ready to take. God, Antonio Conte has been through the ringer this afternoon. His Tottenham team has certainly put him through it in the second half. It's turning into a judo match there as well. Alexis McAllister slings Højbjerg to the floor. Corner won by Tottenham. Added time is pretty much up. Tottenham will take this short, keep the ball, and it looks like the 3 points are going to be theirs. Perisic goes over to the corner flag. He's going to poke it to Højbjerg. They complain the Brighton players aren't 10 yards away. That's it. And that is a passionate celebration, as you'd expect from Antonio Conte. Lovely warm embrace between the two Italian managers, De Zerbi and Conte. But it is Tottenham who take the points, and Tottenham move to within a point of their North London rivals, Arsenal. They're on 20. Arsenal at home to Liverpool tomorrow in a 5 Live commentary. They're on 21. But goodness me, Tony, Kane gets the winner in the first half. Scrappy second half, and Antonio Conte. Tottenham weren't great, but they got there.
This is what he does. You know, he'll grind it out if he has to grind it out. They were very good first half. Good game first half. Second half more scrappy, but Brighton a better team second half. But he grinds it out. His teams grind it out.
Tough week for Antonio Conte, particularly off the field. The loss of his great friend and fitness coach Gianpiero Ventrone. Very emotional before the game. Looks very emotional after the game as well. But at the moment he is celebrating a win for Tottenham. A Harry Kane header in the first half was enough. Tottenham were able to keep the clean sheet and they win the game by 1-0. So now it's your turn to have your say on 5 Live. Taking the calls through until 9 o'clock this evening. Chris Sutton and Robbie Savage with 606.